Miss against Alabama. This is a pivotal early season game. He's got him wide open. Touchdown, Dick Sanders. There's the snap. Wallace into the end zone. Got him. Caught. Touchdown, Jalen Hurts. Sims deep into the end zone. It is up for grabs.
Wrestle it down.
Yes.
Ole Miss will have the football. The students are pouring onto the field. Ole Miss has knocked off #1 Alabama.
A jam-packed Bryant-Denny Stadium.
The snap is high. Kelly grabs it, wants to throw, fires it up in the air. Treadwell can't get it. Deflection is caught. And down the sideline is Adebayo. He's in there. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
Coker rolls right, throws at the goal line. Darius Stewart breaks a tackle. He is in for the touchdown.
Or 33 is going to throw over the middle, and it's going to be short and intercepted. And Ole Miss has won over Alabama to make it 2 years in a row.
We welcome all of you to the Home Depot SEC on CBS. This afternoon, the top-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama against the 19th rated Rebels of Ole Miss. Vaught Hemingway Stadium recently expanded the capacity now just under 65,000, and every seat will be taken this afternoon. Hi once again, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson. We have an important number for you to consider today. The number is 2, as in how many times in succession has Ole Miss defeated Alabama. Now, no Nick Saban coach team in the SEC, which would include LSU, has ever defeated him 3 times in a row. What are the chances?
Well, you can't beat Alabama, Vern, unless you can believe that you can beat them. And Ole Miss believes they can beat them. Plus, I think going into this game, they have to be a little bit upset. Since they beat Alabama, all they've heard from Alabama is, they didn't beat us, we beat ourselves. Now, I do have to say, when you put on the tape, it's hard to argue with Alabama, but it doesn't mean Ole Miss doesn't think they can win this game.
There are any number of great contrasts today, perhaps most significantly at the quarterback spot.
Absolutely. I mean, if Ole Miss is going to win this football game, Chad Kelly, who everyone believes might be the best quarterback in the SEC this year, better be on top of his football game. He's the guy that has to direct it, not only in the air, but on the ground. He has to be the one, because Ole Miss does not run the ball effectively. It's going to be through number 10. And Alabama, for Nick Saban, the first time he's ever started a true freshman quarterback. Alabama on the road, a big moment. Will Jalen Hurts be able to do it? We'll see in this big game, because he's got players around him he should depend on, and that means that Alabama defense. And they've got stars at every level. Jonathan Allen came back to Alabama for 1 more year. He could be in the NFL. Reuben Foster came back for 1 more year. He could be in the NFL. And their All-American safety, Eddie Jackson, also comes back for 1 more year. But you know what? Ole Miss might have the formula. The disruptive defensive line. These guys have to be the difference against maybe the weakest part of Alabama, their offensive line. They must win.
Well, Hugh Freeze is the head coach at Ole Miss. Nick Saban at Alabama. They are dear friends, despite the having to go against each other each year in football. For more, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Hey, Vernon, Gary, with all of the national conversation, the hype, the emotion that has surrounded this game over the last 2 years, Hugh Freeze wanted to put a personal touch on it, so he wrote the team a letter. He put it in their lockers before the game, and he used this letter as motivation before the game in his pregame speech. Now, one line that really sums it up. He said, "Do you believe that you can beat them again, or do you believe you will beat them again? The difference is all in what you believe." He wants this team to dig deeper than their physical capabilities. Now, Alabama, they want nothing to do with emotion. Nick Saban told me that he believes emotion got the best of them the last 2 years. We'll see which strategy wins out in just a few minutes.
It is thus far a beautiful afternoon. There were early predictions of thunderstorms. We hope they stay away. We'll return to Oxford right after this.
Now it's kicking in. Your adrenaline. No one's ever been where you're standing. Gosh almighty, who the hell are we? Tide is rolling in. Yeah. Your adrenaline.
Kelly, quick pass, caught. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
Touchdown, Alabama.
Kickoff, so you better be ready to dance. Face no kicked off, gonna beat you to give it the chance.
How about that?
Your adrenaline, no one's ever been where you're standing.
Takes it all the way. Touchdown.
Fate has chosen you. Time to dial it in. Yeah.
It's the Tide and the Rebels, the SEC on CBS.
Your adrenaline, yeah.
Guard Brooks, there is plenty of adrenaline in Vaught Hemingway Stadium. Ole Miss first on the field. And followed closely by the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Well, we mentioned the possibility of thunderstorms. There is a 15% chance of rain. That's really improved. The humidity at 76%, so a muggy day. 81 degrees, about 13 degrees cooler than yesterday. 64th all-time meeting, the first game in 1894. Ole Miss has won the last two. Alabama won the toss, and they have deferred. That means Ole Miss will get the ball. Well, these opening kickoffs have proven important in each of the last 2 years. In 2014, the Rebels' Mark Dotson returned the opening kick 54 yards to get into Alabama territory. Ole Miss won the game and tore the goalpost down. Last year, Ardarius Stewart fumbled, and Ole Miss recovered the football. That was the first of 5 Alabama turnovers in that game and helped to determine the outcome.
And Vern, that's why I think Allie's report nailed it so much from the viewpoint of Nick Saban. He looks at this game as we've been too emotional to start the game against them trying to avenge defeat. He wants them to be businesslike and do their job. He knows he's got his best team, at least talent-wise, 1 through 85. Just relax and play. Ole Miss wants the emotion. They want the crowd and everybody on their side.
Chad Kelly getting ready. Hugh Freeze has been ready for a week at least. Carlos Davis is the deep man. He will return the kickoff of Adam Griffin. Ball game underway. Bounces right through the hands of Carlos Davis. And that will go through the end zone. Touchback. So after that big build-up.
That was anticlimactic.
Yeah, it really was. Let us tell you how significant this kickoff is going to be.
Hey, it was a good idea. It just didn't work. That's all we can say.
Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And here's Chad Kelly. Many think the best quarterback in the SEC. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, yes, I do. He has the big arm, the yards to prove it, and the experience. What he has to do is avoid the mistakes.
Looked great in the first half in the FSU game, and then not so good in the second. He's spilled. Chad Kelly is. And let's introduce you to the starting Ole Miss offense, the remainder of it. Taylor, Patterson, Conyers, Sims, Rawlings, Judge, Evan Engram should play a big part in this game if Ole Miss is to succeed. 2nd and 7. That's Evan Engram right on cue. And that will be an Ole Miss first down. Defensively, and it's still a good one. It always seems to be, doesn't it? They just keep replacing NFL players with future NFL players. Tim Williams had a monster year as a junior. And he will get the start number 56. Hakeem Judd gets the handoff. Run, pass, option play.
Well, the last, teams that have beaten Alabama have hurt them. Remember all the way back to Nick Marshall in that 2013 game. And then last year, this was a big play in the second half that happened to it. Same play for a touchdown again.
Play action here. Kelly deep right side, double coverage, and he overthrows Van Jefferson.
And the RPO plays, just to finish off those two plays, because Ole Miss started with the same play and it was defended. You make it look like a run. The offensive line is blocking run play. That produced a touchdown, but look what happened on this play. The offensive lineman was actually down the field, was not called.
5 wides, Kelly's got a man! At the 50, it's Evan Engram. First down, Rebels at the 35-yard line.
I'm not surprised at all that the pressure point in this offense will be Evan Engram. He caught 9 balls against Florida State for 121, and he's a mismatch.
Now they do go with the hurry up after the big game. And it is caught by Quincy Adebayo.
I think it was Anthony Averett, number 28, that was in coverage on the play. Got inside of him, and a perfect throw. Again, you must be efficient. If you're throwing against Alabama, they play man-to-man, and they force you to throw accurately. And so far, Kelly has.
That was a game of 15. Now they'll test the left side, up the middle, in the open. Hakeem Judd, no flags, touchdown, Ole Miss. Gary Wunderlich for the extra point.
Well, the question was, could this offensive line muster any running game to help Chad Kelly? He threw the ball effectively, and what did it do? It allowed Rod Taylor and Javon Patterson, number 79 and 73, to get their blocks, and what a beautiful drive. They mixed it up, and they gashed them.
75 yards, 7 plays, 1:53 on the clock. 7-zip in Oxford. Now it's time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success.
How ironic, a year ago when they fumbled the opening kickoff, Alabama held Ole Miss to a 3-and-out. Now, with 75 yards to go, the field opens up, and Chad Kelly, with the help of his offensive line, great protection and accurate throws, sets up the Alabama defense. They gash him. Actually, inside linebacker Hamilton overran it that time. Sean Dion Hamilton overran it, and 7-0. An excellent drive, moving the chains and putting points on the board.
Nathan Noble, that is. And it'll be a touchback. Led by Ardarius Stewart. And the Chick-fil-A starting lineups for Alabama. Second start of his career in that huddle somewhere is Jalen Hurts. True freshman. Enrolled in Alabama in January, just in time for the preparation for the game against Clemson, and he played Deshaun Watson. He was one of 2. Did a pretty good job.
Yes, he did. Well, he gave him a great look. Deshaun Watson had a pretty good game in there, but I think he earned the respect of the football team, and him coming in there and do that probably made it possible for him to win this job.
Blake Barnett started the first game. Hurts started last week. Damian Harris is the running back. He gets it right up the middle. He'll be one of at least 3 we'll see today. Offensive line, they've got an All-American at left tackle, Cam Robertson. Pierce Baker has moved back to the left guard from the right guard, and that allows Alphonse Taylor to get back in the starting lineup. He had been injured. Hurts. Hale Hetkus, the tight end, number 84, defensively for The Rebels of Ole Miss, Haynes, Speaks, Jones, Youngblood, Tony Connor, quite a story. Missed 7 games last year, knee injury. He's probably only at 85%, but he is the starter. 3rd and 1.
Whoa.
That's close. Damian Harris.
It is. It's funny. Calvin Ridley picks up the ball and remarks it. Kind of ran into his own player on the play. He had it easy on it.
Well, Terry Caldwell, number 21, is the first one to make contact. It is ruled a 1st and 10. 7-0. Akeem Judd with a run, 23 yards. Hurts. Calvin Ridley, 9 catches a week ago. DJ Jones makes the stop.
It is very interesting to watch now how Lane Kiffin will counter. Remember, on the road, true freshman quarterback. He's already looked at Chad Kelly being able to move the ball. Does he give him a more leeway to throw it? It looks like he's calling his normal game to me. No protection of the freshman quarterback.
There is a new running back in. Hurts keeps it and runs left. He gave the fake to Joshua Jacobs, number 25. And Hurts is a true dual threat quarterback.
Sure is. And speaking with Lane, I asked him, have you ever had anyone, either as an offensive coordinator or a head coach, like Jalen Hurts? And he thought for a minute. He said, nope, never have. Usually I have pocket guys. This is the first time.
Bradley Bozeman is the center. He gives it off to Damian Harris. And he scoots around the right side and gets close to the first down.
Little different look from Ole Miss here. They're keeping their safeties back. They're daring Alabama to run the football without bringing that 8th guy in the box. Alabama has not shown they could run the ball consistently in the year so far. So they're saying, prove it to us before we come up and try to stop the run.
Injured player for Ole Miss. We'll be right back. Today, the injured player, number 13 for Ole Miss, is Kalo Moore, a senior from Rosedale, Mississippi. Hadn't quite earned a spot on the depth chart, so we had to hesitate to identify him correctly. 2nd down and 2. Ardarius Stewart starts in motion. He's got it. And he is brought down near the first down by Terry Caldwell, number 21.
And when we were talking about Alabama, and this may be Nick's most talented team, the reason you can say that is 6 straight #1 recruiting classes, 6 in a row. 80% of their team is either a 5-star recruit or a 4-star recruit.
Pretty good average.
Yep.
3rd and 2. Harris, nice little bit of footwork at the line of scrimmage. And this, I think, is going to be enough to move the chain.
But here's the thing. Talk to Hugh Freeze about that. He acknowledged they're deeper than we are. And then he says, but we only have to play against 11 of them on the field at the same time. If we can keep it, without getting a lot of more guys injured, I think our first 25, 30 guys are equal to them. And that's how they have to play the game, believing that way.
First down 10, 2 wides to the right-hand side. Here's Hurts. He's out of Channelview, Houston, in the Houston area. Channelview, Texas. He considered Texas A&M part of the Elite 11 quarterback camp. Announced while there that he had cast his lot for Tuscaloosa.
Passing down. Let's see how this offensive line holds up for Alabama against this ferocious pass rush.
Here they come. Out to the right side, it's Ardarius Stewart. Interesting for this Alabama offense, Gary. They line up Ridley to the left and Stewart to the right almost every play.
Yeah, but not always wide. You can't depend on them to be the widest receiver. You can depend on them to be right and left. And the reason they do that, as they've now moved to playing a little bit faster, no huddle, it's easier for them to get the plays called by having the wide receivers go to one side of the field every time.
And now they switch and put 3 wide to the left.
Tight end in the middle up here.
Yeah, Brutch. Pass is complete to Calvin Ridley. A good bit of pressure up the middle that time from DeMarcus Gates, number 3.
And one thing Nick Saban, I believe, was looking for from his offense was drives. Give me some Alabama-looking drives. They've now got 11 plays. Exactly what I think he was looking for from his team.
Running back Joshua Jacobs. 2 wide left, 2 wide right. Hurts pitches it out to Calvin Ridley. And a pretty good job defensively of closing on the play. Breland speaks with a little pressure, number 9.
You can see exactly what Lane is trying to set up in this football game as offensive coordinator against Ole Miss. He's going to throw the ball, but he's throwing it quick. He does not want to stress his offensive line early in this game.
3rd and 3. Roll out. Hurts. Chased. Caught. Very, very, very close.
I think he got it. I think he also took a big hit on the play.
I think he hurts.
Yes.
It was there. Just couldn't ignore it.
I think the fullback was supposed to slide out in the flat on the play and got hit by the offensive line and never got out. That's why Hurts had to keep it.
It is a 1st down 10 Alabama, so this lengthy clock-eating drive continues. Well, that looks like a little mix-up. Joshua Jacobs, number 25.
Yeah, it was their counter play. They run it from the same side. As you mentioned, Joshua Jacobs out of Oklahoma, injured a week ago. They feel very strongly that he could be a real factor. Had trouble learning the offense, and now they believe that he's finally learned enough to carry the ball. Obviously, another talent for Alabama.
And you see the Alabama red zone offense, a national average, at 65%. Cam Sims is lined up wide right, number 17.
When are they going to find O.J. Howard?
Not right here. It's Damian Harris. But it's a good point.
Well, I think we've got, in this league, the SEC this year, 3 really tight ends that set themselves apart. In Arkansas, Jeremy Sprinkle, Evan Engram from Ole Miss, and, of course, O.J. Howard here at Alabama.
They're down 7. They've run 15 plays already. Hurts.
Got him. Throwback.
Oh, does he ever? In the left end zone all alone. And he overthrows it. Oh, my gosh.
We saw this same play in the SEC championship game, a throwback play just exactly like this. A little slow down, and he goes across. All the motion goes one way. Can't remember if it was against Florida or South Carolina, but a similar play, and completely whiffed on it. Had a touchdown.
Alabama's 16th play of the drive. Here's Adam Griffith for the field goal attempt. Jalen Hurts is going to have nightmares thinking about that play.
It depends on the rest of the game, but if that's the difference, I can agree with you.
Good point.
Oxford.
There have been some shockers, Gary, early in the season, but that one today.
Well, this weekend set up, as you look at the rundown of touchdowns, they're 1, 2, and 3 on the road. Alabama trailing 7-3 here, and of course Ohio State at Oklahoma later, and 6-3 points.
This one is taken by Carlos Davis. And not very far. Well, we talk a lot, Gary, about up-tempo, fastball offense.
Well, I think a lot of people mix it up. They go hurry up, no huddle, but there's different versions. A lot of people go no huddle, but I think what's really evolving now is people are going no huddle, sometimes hurry up. And that's where Ole Miss has kind of moved into. On their 7 plays, they ran 3 fastball plays where they went up and snapped it as fast as they could. On it, they threw the ball all 3 times. Kelly was 2 for 3 for 41 yards. We're going to watch that and measure this throughout the game. Not all no huddles are up-tempo or fastball. We're going to watch it.
Well, that one went nowhere. I like the acronym for the first one. Huh?
There you go.
Hubert Owens is our referee.
False start, 7 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Jordan Sims, the right guard. So that makes it a first down 15.
In college football, if you have an elite player, like an A.J. Green, a Julio Jones in the past, or Evan Engram in this football game, you need to establish him. And that's what I think Ole Miss has done so far in this game.
Engram, a senior out of Powder Springs, Georgia. 11 catches for the year. That was a carry. And it brings up a second down. And they're officially going to call it second down 12. Kelly avoids the block, goes deep, has to wait, and can't hang on. It was attaboy Joe. At the 45-yard line, ball hung a little bit.
Yeah, attaboy Joe had a chance to bring this down, I think. Anthony Averett was in position and fought through it. And that's all you can ask from your corner. Ole Miss has big wide receivers. You got to tell him to play through the catch, and he did it exactly the right way there.
They're down 12. In the end zone, watch out. And that's through the receiver's hands, and that was Engram.
Well, that was great strength from Chad Kelly. We talked about his arm strength and his running, but he got away from Timmy Williams that time. That could have been a safety. Watch the strength of Chad Kelly. Gets away from both of them, actually, Ryan Anderson and Tim Williams, to get a play and live without giving up the safety.
Here's a little rugby punt. And the catch, fair catch taken for 49 by Eddie Jackson. (7-3). Ole Miss scored on its opening possession. A touchdown. That's the NFL Today presented by Southwest Airlines. Let's check in with Al.
Bert and I have a couple injury updates for you. Kalo Moore for Ole Miss left the game with a right shoulder injury. He spent significant time on the athletic trainer's table getting worked on. He's questionable to return. And also Sean Hamilton for Alabama went into the athletic training tent, which, by the way, both teams have now. Makes it very difficult to see, but I did get confirmation that he was just getting his left ankle retaped.
Okay, Allie, thank you. 7-3, under 5 to play. First quarter.
All right, now this is the danger time for Ole Miss. Alabama just ran a 16-play drive, get a quick 3-and-out that they, do a lot with that defense, and now that defense has to come back for Ole Miss, back on the field. Alabama's ready to go again.
And they've got the ball just short of the midfield line. Crimson Tide have it. Bradley Bozeman is the center. He took the place of Ryan Kelly. Yesterday, Lane Kiffin telling us he thought Ryan Kelly was the most valuable player on the Alabama team last year. Here's Hurts. That one is stripped. Intended for Gary Dieter, a transfer from Bowling Green. And Jalen Julius, number 7. Nice job of defending the play.
Well, Julius is one of the guys that's getting playing time because Kenny Webster had that devastating injury against Florida State. And remember, the biggest difference for this Ole Miss defense, they lost their 2 senior safeties, Mike Hilton and Trey Elston, a year ago. They got a true freshman, Miles Hartsfield, out there, number 15 right now.
And Alabama now has Bo Scarborough in at tailback. So 3 running backs, and there's motion on the left side. That was Cam Robinson.
False start, offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Left side right here. And that's the 2 or 3 plays that Hugh Freeze is asking this home crowd to make a difference in. And it's a big difference. 2nd and 15 now. This is, back when it was, you knew when it was McElroy or A.J. McCarron, it was a screen. This was, you could almost count on it.
Both wideouts are wide to the left. Now, Ridley starts in motion. Play fake. Hurt looks deep. Goes short. It's caught.
What time he had to survey the field.
It's Garrett Dieter, number 11, in his first year.
Alabama, it's hard to believe, returns Alabama has 2,000-yard receivers on their football team this year. Calvin Ridley and Garrett Dieter. One of them did it at Bowling Green, and one of them at Alabama.
It's not finger obvious, but I could see it coming. And this one's going to be whistled dead.
False start, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty.
Well, we've got false starts
down
by both tackles now.
Well, Jonah Williams is a true freshman. He's the starting right tackle. And he's been starting. He came as obviously a high school, attended spring, won the tackle job at Alabama in his spring, started the spring game at right tackle. He's been there, and he'll be there for at least 3 years. They call him a special player.
Yeah, as they do Cam Robinson on the other side.
There's Hurts. Screen.
Ardarius Stewart gets this one, and nothing doing. Benito Jones, number 95.
Well, if anything takes a little too long against this speed defense of Ole Miss, that land shark defense can make up a lot of ground. You have to hit them fast because they can move and redirect as well as anybody in the SEC.
2nd down and 20. This time they'll spread the field with 3 wide to the right side, 1 off to the left. That's Calvin Ridley. Now he's joined by Bo Scarborough, who now comes, it's Ridley coming this way. Quarterback draw. Yeah, he can run. He fumbles too. And it's picked up by Ole Miss. This is Miles Hartfield, the freshman, knocked out of bounds inside the 20.
Let's see if he landed on the ground before the ball came loose. Was he down by contact? That's going to be the question. I thought he got an arm on the leg right there. He's hit again, and then the ball pops loose. I think they're going to bring this one back.
John. On the field was a fumble recovered in advance by Ole Miss. The previous play is under further review.
And the replay official is John Bible.
Working in conjunction with Birmingham. But it's being called the way it's instructed to be called on the field by the officials. Heward Owens and his crew. They're supposed to err towards a fumble, and then they'll fix it. They don't want to call it down and not have the fumble. And I think it pops out when his elbow hits the ground.
That's Marquise Haynes, number 10, the Ole Miss defensive end.
I say right now they know it's coming back, and they're just trying to get the yard line.
Yep, and the clock. I think you're absolutely on it.
Elbow down, ball comes out.
It was a 50-yard return of the fumble by Miles Hartsfield. A true freshman. About him, Gary was just talking.
is going to be about 3rd and 5. And it's in that part of the field where, it's such a long field goal. Alabama may go for it here.
After review, the ruling is that the ball carrier was down at the 35-yard line prior to the fumble. It'll be 3rd down. Please reset the game clock for 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Please reset the game clock for 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
Vern, do all these people know this is your last year? Because they all disagree with you.
They're just booing,
It was both of us, right? Yeah, it's in that, in between where I think Alabama's going to go for this.
3rd and 5. I talked to John Bible about an hour before the game. He did Vanderbilt last week, and he had 6 reviewed plays. And I said, I hope you have a quiet afternoon. It didn't turn out that way. 3rd down. Hurts, Ridley. Inside the 30, that's a 1st down.
Boy, this is just such a tough throw. I know it seems easy, but it's almost a lateral. And then you have to lead Ridley upfield. If you make him turn at all, Ridley will not have the momentum to go forward and pick up that 1st down. A beautifully designed play and executed by Alabama for the 1st down.
Alabama trails 7-3, 2:50 to go, opening quarter. Good flip. That's Ridley again. Good defensive job by Jalen Julius. Number 7. He's a true freshman. Well, a redshirt freshman. Beg your pardon.
And Julius is going to read. This is another one of those RPOs. The quarterback has the option. If he thinks he's got a one-on-one to the outside, he can either hand it off for the run or throw it to the outside.
2nd down, 12. 3 wides, right side.
Do I have to keep explaining that play for the rest of my life?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm tired of it.
There we are. We've screened to Ardarius Stewart. He didn't get much. It'll be 3rd and either 10 or 11, depending on the spot.
And red in number 84.
And he's limping off now. Henkes was the guy who was the obstacle.
Yep. Man, Ardarius Stewart. I think Dieter was in the play, too. Was Dieter the one that was limping off on the play?
Well, Stewart started limping up.
Yes.
Now he's down at the 33. One more look at the injury. There's Henkes getting in the way. Stewart is down, and time has been called. Gary, another look at this injury.
Yeah, I think the hit by Henkes was a blow to the head, and then finished up on the back end with another blow to the head by A.J. Moore. And I think they're going to take a look at him into the concussion protocol procedure.
Here's Henkes in motion. It's 3rd down and 10. Double coverage. Pass is incomplete. Calvin Ridley. And this is the tent, which is more and more common on football sidelines these days. And Ardarius Stewart was taken in there immediately. And I would imagine they'll. And here's Adam Griffith. This will be from 47 yards. I just almost automatically say 57 when he comes on the field. Cooper Bateman is the holder. Cole Mazza is the snapper. No good.
Well, after the turnover and then the 1st down, the defense really rose up for Ole Miss there and got the stop. As we watch one more time on the kick, I don't think it got deflected on the play, but don't know for sure.
Well, Alabama has dominated since the opening series of this game when Ole Miss scored in 7 plays. And yet, Ole Miss still leads 7-3. 1:26 to go, first quarter of play. Third game of the season for both. Kelly flips it out. Evan Engram knocked out of bounds at the Alabama bench. The wait is almost over. Only 2 more days until the Big Bang Theory kicks off with a star-studded premiere that will have everyone talking. It all happens right here Monday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. Kelly. That pitch was never available.
Really surprised Ole Miss is going fast here. Since the opening drive, Alabama's had a 24-3 play advantage. The Ole Miss defense needs some time.
Late substitutions defensively now for Alabama.
Now remember, Ole Miss substituted, Alabama substituted, so there was time to adjust.
That's Van Jefferson, number 12, who goes over in the slot to the right.
It's a huge play for Ole Miss.
3rd and 4. Rush. They got rid of it. It's Eugene Brasley, number 23.
Question is, was his knee down before he reached across?
Yeah. Well, that crowd in powder blue disagrees with the spot.
But it was right on the Alabama bench, and the Alabama coaches were helping over there. And I think his knee down. Look at the pointing being up there. Kelly took a hit just as he let that ball go.
Jonathan Allen was the guy who was right there. It's 4th and 1.
This is going to get a review, isn't it?
I think so.
End of the first quarter, they'll have plenty of time to do it.
Here's a referee. Thought he was going to speak to us, but he's chosen not to. It's an action some follow on television. If you got nothing to say, lay out.
Plus, it's a water break time, too.
That is the end of the first with our score 7-3 Ole Miss. We will return to Oxford after this message and a word from your local station. Back to the second quarter, 4th and 1 in the spread formation.
First thing Alabama and Jeremy Pruitt had to tell him is stay onside.
Yep.
Well, Kelly's backing up. He might push punt it himself.
And that is exactly what he does.
Nice play.
Boy, is it ever. Wow. Well, you remember the days of the old quick kick?
Yes. That's the, I'm sure Chad went punt, pass, and kick when he was a kid, right?
I bet you anything he did, he probably won. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we here at CBS are partnering with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital to raise awareness for this very worthy cause. And that's why Mr. Danielson and I are wearing the lapel. Which one is it? There we are. And you can't see this very well, but the symbol is in the ties as well. And we fully support it. Impressions of the first quarter?
I think both teams satisfied. I think Alabama's shown they can drive the ball, and Ole Miss knows they have a formula. Establish the passing game with Engram, and then they will be able to run the ball if they do that well. So I think both sides come off here saying, hey, our formula can work.
By the way, good catch with Kelly's move.
I never got to do that. I would have
that was adept. Well, Allie's got a little more on Chad Kelly.
Well, you guys were wondering if he's ever played punt, pass, or kick. He told me that since he was 8 years old, he was working on punt, pass, and kick every single day for 365 days a year. And I think he knew from a young age this was the sport he wanted to excel in. And he wasn't going to let a day go by that he wasn't working on it.
I was told he won 4 titles. Jim Kelly's nephew. And that was a 48-yard punt. That was really effective. Here's Hurts, nailed after a gain of 1.
it just looks so different when you watch Alabama and running quarterback. We're so used to watching, a featured tailback being the guy, and then the play action passes off that. This year's team has a completely different look. But when you turned on the tape a year ago, that team that played Ole Miss didn't look like the team that finished the season. No Calvin Ridley, Coker didn't start, and Derrick Henry was not the featured guy at that point.
Third down long. That's Hemkus. O.J. Howard, near side. Hurts rolls to the right side. Oh, that was right between the numbers.
And I tell you, last year, Ole Miss dropped 2 of them in interceptions. And this time, Montrell Curtis, number 25, had it right in the midst. Hard to believe that Jalen Hurts didn't see that. And now you wonder if, when you have 2 quarterbacks, it's like having 2 drivers in the back. When you hit one, you slice one out of bounds, and you start looking at the other driver. And you go, it's not me. It can't be me. So now you wonder if Lane says, he looks a little rattled, would we go to another quarterback?
J.K. Scott averaging just under 47 yards per punt. Carlos Davis picks this one up, but terrific special teams coverage by the Crimson Tide. And so he doesn't get much on the return. Minka Fitzpatrick is J.K. Scott out of Denver. That was a 63-yard punt. That might improve his average just a little bit, but a good job defensively by Ole Miss. Thank you, Adam. Break up the Buffaloes from Boulder. Goodness. How about this quarterback play so far?
Yeah, I think there is a formula. When Alabama loses, and it's not very often, it takes efficiency at the quarterback position. You don't have to be a superstar. It helps if you're Cam, I get it. But you have to be efficient and protect the football. Only one time, LSU in that 9-6 game, did a team that throw 2 interceptions win.
Here's the toss to the right, Akeem Judd, having him carry the ball. A reminder that they've had a lot of injuries on this Ole Miss team. Eric Swinney, running back, out for the year. So it's Judd and Eugene Brasley at the featured running back spot now. Incomplete.
Second down hurry up is really tough in my mind.
Why so?
Well, because if you don't execute it properly, if you make a mistake, you're looking at 3rd and long. I get it on 1st down. I kind of understand it on 3rd down when you want to keep those subs out. But on 2nd down, I like picking up half of it and knowing what I'm doing. They looked rushed that time almost.
3rd down 9. Kelly gets hit from behind, but the pass is complete. Van Jefferson.
Yeah, they're going to get holding on Timmy Williams, though. It's a good throw, but coming off the edge, Tim Williams to the top does a great job of getting around the corner here, and I think, he cuts inside and gets grabbed down. Good throw, but it's coming back.
10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Yeah, you could see it went right inside Rod Taylor that time and got the hold. DeMarcus Walker had 4 sacks for Florida State against Ole Miss, most of them in the second half. He was a mismatch. The problem is for Ole Miss offensive line, Alabama has 3 mismatches. Ryan Anderson, Tim Williams, and Garrett Allen. And that's going to be really stressful. Jonathan Allen, very stressful on that offensive line in passing situations.
Well, that negates a 1st down out near the 45, and it makes it 3rd down and 19. Here's Kelly. Chased. Now he can run it as well. Bumps. Gets popped and bumped out of bounds at the 31 by Ronnie Harrison, number 15.
Well, Chad Kelly is actually Ole Miss's leading returning rusher this year. Ran for 500 yards. In the second half of the season, a little bit more of called plays. That was not a called play, and got it about as far as he could to get it out.
Well, they used 2 punters, and this will be the second. Gary Wunderlich, he punted 4 times this year, and that's Mississippi's 3rd consecutive 3 and out.
Yeah, and then when you go fast, see, that's that double-edged sword. You like to go fast, but man, it doesn't work. It looks bad.
Terrific punt. They'll let that one go. It'll come out after the touchback.
Wow, that's like 65, 66 yards, wasn't it?
68, as a matter of fact.
There you go.
As we say, that's a pretty good punt. Hugh Freeze, Nick Saban. They played golf together in the summer.
Welcome back to Oxford, where Ole Miss leads Alabama 7-3. We saw a big part of this Alabama team, Ardarius Stewart, leave the field after getting hit on this play right here. He spent a good 15 minutes in the athletic training tent. He spent the first 5 minutes laying down. They put cold rags over his head. They had ice in the tent. He spent the next 10, though, sitting up as the medical athletic training staff huddled up to make a decision on what should be done with Stewart. He just now came out of the tent and joined his team on the sideline. They're telling me there is potential that he will return.
All right, Allie, thank you. It's a first down 10 after that 68-yard punt. No uniform on for Stewart yet. Cam Sims and Taylor Diggs, number 7, both to the right. Diggs, the outside man, he's also a defensive back. And the handoff goes to Joshua Jacobs.
You know, Vern, we speculated whether Nick Saban might change pitchers here and put in Blake Barnett. But when we talked to Nick, one of the things he said he liked most about Jalen Hurts is when he has a bad play, it doesn't affect him. He's very confident that he can get over something that he doesn't do well.
Big hole, big run. Joshua Jacobs across the 50. True freshman. That's a 25-yard run to equal his number.
Well, good blocking up front. Ross Christbacher, number 71, does a good job. Right up the middle, and that had to be Bozeman. That was one of the parts of this offense, the center position that everybody was talking about, considering how good Alabama's been at center for the last 10 years.
Yes. And the flag as the snap is made.
False start. Offense, number 74.
That's 2 on Cam Robinson.
First down.
Vern, catch this. Bradley Bozeman is this year's center for Alabama. Since Nick has been at Alabama, his centers have all had some type of All-American status. Antoine Caldwell, William Blahos, Barrett Jones, remember that year? And then, of course, Ryan Kelly. The center of that offensive line is so important, and why Bozeman is so important.
On third, Ridley, tackle for a loss. Tony Connor had a chance to chat with Tony yesterday. We mentioned he's not at 85% after that knee injury from last year.
Well, Tony Connor at one time, an all-SEC corner until he had those 2 knee surgeries. And, well, let me tell you this, I've been there. If a guy tells you he thinks he's 85, he's usually 65.
Second down. 17 yards needed for the first. Alabama trailing 7-3. Reverse. Ridley has it.
He can throw, but he has no opportunity.
There's nobody open. And it will be third and long. Marquise Haynes, number 10.
Well, it was a great job that time by the linebacker that stuffed his play, Terry Caldwell, number 21. This was going to go to the quarterback, and it was covered that time, nowhere to throw, and then the tackle is made. Heads-up play by Terry Caldwell, number 21, to cover Jalen Hurts on the play.
Third down, 20. Handoff. Damian Harris, fourth down.
Gotta say, Vern, listen, Lane's a great play caller, and he dials them up a lot of times at the right time. But a reverse pass on 2nd and 17 when everybody is manning up people is a very curious call, and that Ole Miss had no problem with it.
That does bring on J.K. Scott, who has a 67-yarder earlier. And Carlos Davis is the deep man. He is at 10.
Oh, he shanked it.
He sure did.
It might not even be a first down.
My gracious.
It's not
even enough for a first down had it been an offensive play.
Got about 10 or 11 yards. That's it.
That'll negate your average a little bit. That's an 8-yard punt. Well, he's averaged 34 in the last 2 then.
Wow.
My gosh. J.K. Scott. What time does that play for Denver? It remains 7-3 Ole Miss. And it's time now to cue the dump. Highlights. There's Chad Kelly. And the Aflac trivia question for this week: which starting quarterbacks defeated a Nick Saban coach team in back-to-back seasons? It's a pretty good one. Pretty good. Chad Kelly led the team on an opening touchdown march. 7 plays. He was 3 for 3 then. Goes, man for man. Leaping try. Got it! DeMaurier Stringfellow.
Marlon Humphrey's got him one-on-one, but it is one-on-one. There's nobody back there. They go up for it, and Stringfellow is just bigger, and he comes down with it.
Now here's your hurry-up offense. Yep. And that's Van Jefferson. Take another look at the end of that catch, Gary.
So this has been a story by Ole Miss, whether it's Laquan Treadwell last year or this. You put the ball up in the air, and you let your big receivers go one-on-one. Again, you don't have to play against all 85 guys when you throw it up one-on-one.
Second down and 3, towards the middle. It's Akeem Judd. And the Verizon Red Zone offensive statistics. How about that? 10 for 10. Can't get much better, I guess, unless you go 11 for 11. 7-3. They're threatening. 3rd down and 3 right now.
I can say this. They would trade a couple of those earlier ones for one right here.
Kelly has a man in motion. Play action. He rolls out. This is not going to work out well. Evan Engram was sent topsy-turvy by that double tackle.
Again, one of those sneak plays on 3rd and a passing down. You're just not going to fool Alabama. Finessing them on a 3rd down passing play, they don't believe you can run the ball on them. They're playing pass. I think with Chad Kelly, you got to drop back and throw the ball. Trying to sneak a tight end on a play-action pass, that's tough.
That brings on Gary Wunderlich for the field goal, which is up and good. So for the first time all year, they don't get a touchdown on 1st and goal. That's a 23-yard field goal. Terrific catch by Demarius Stringfellow. 10-3 Ole Miss. 10-3 Ole Miss got the field goal. They took the lead on the opening series. And the big play just a moment ago.
Minka Fitzpatrick was getting an earful. Excuse me, one more time. He's right there. Let's circle him. I believe he was supposed to rotate in the middle of the field. Eddie Jackson comes up. Watch Minka just stand there. And when he comes off the field, Nick Saban is right in his ear saying, when you have a short set and the ball goes play action, you got to go back and play the safety position. It's a combo defense. There's a lot of learning, and I think that was half of the play right there.
So 10-3 is now the score. Nathan Noble will kick off. Trayvon Diggs, number 7. Gets popped at the 15. My gracious. And is down at the 20. Thursday, your weekend. 7:35. We're almost midway through the second quarter, that is. First down 10.
I just question what such a big weapon O.J. Howard is. Why can't Alabama figure out a way to get the ball to him? Remember in the national championship game.
Yep. Here's Hurts. And he overshoots Calvin Ridley. And let's check in with Allie on Alabama's offense.
Hey, Vernon, Gary, Alabama's offense has been so calm throughout this first half until the last time they were just on the bench. They were starting to get antsy. Cam Sims saying, we have to get it going. Lane Kiffin then sat down and said, we got to play faster, guys. And our Darius Stewart looking Hurts right in the face and saying, you have to speed up the tempo of this game. They love his cool demeanor, but at times they want him to be more of a vocal leader, and they were calling on that right now.
O.J. Howard splits out wide to the right. Hurts is 5 of 9 on his last 9 passes, but that's for 0 yards. He'll wing it right side. Oh, that ends Garrick Dieter, number 11, the transfer from Bowling Green.
Great protection that time. Dieter goes in motion on the play, and Jalen Hurts has time to survey. Look at that. No one in the pocket. Remember, that is a ferocious pass rush, maybe the strongest part of Ole Miss's defense, and he had time to rip it.
That was a dandy. Here's Hurts again. Whoa, it just slipped right out of his hands.
Yes, it did.
It is not wet, folks.
You know, one of the things is, going faster on the road, you make more mistakes. That's just all there is to it. I thought, oh, look at that. That torque. You see the torque in his arm. That's why he throws it so hard. That one just popped loose.
That's a loss of 8. Second down, 18. Ridley near side.
Look. Since the injury burn to Darius Stewart, as we watch that ball fly wide and high, Calvin Ridley has now been flopping from one side to the other. They've ended the left and right. They're now going to go back to Ridley being more of a featured receiver wherever they put him on the field.
Alabama started converting 4 of their first 5 third downs. They missed their last 3. 3rd and 18 here. 4-man rush. Hurts takes off. And he'll be down at the 45, so he's 5 yards short of the first down. Miles Hartsfield.
Hurts, I felt, just left the pocket a little too soon. Now remember, just a freshman quarterback. I mean, you're used to watching Jake Coker and A.J. McCarron and Blake Sims, who were all, senior players, more confident to stand there. But Jalen left a little early that time.
That one's on J.K. Scott. He's got 2 punts today, 68, 1 of 8. This one's a little better. Terrific downfield coverage, and they cannot quite get there. Looked like Minka Fitzpatrick was the one who had an angle on it, so it will be a touchback. And we're going to quickly cue the duck. He's going to make a second appearance here in the second quarter. And the question for Aflac is, which starting quarterbacks defeated a Nick Saban coach team in back-to-back seasons? It happened in the Big... Well, the first 3 were in the Big Ten. And the guy at the bottom was definitely in the SEC. Rex Grossman of Florida, he knocked off the LSU team in 2000 and 2001. And Eugene Brasley. Second down, 7. Kelly, pressure. Goes way deep. Good coverage. And the ball is knocked down by Markel Pack.
Roughing the passer, I believe.
Oh, boy.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 22, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, Ryan Anderson actually got through two players. He gets through Engram, then he gets through the running back, throws them both off, and after he lets it go, he actually tries to catch him on the play. Chad Kelly threw it and went off balance. Ryan Anderson is trying to catch him. And you're going to get called. The official cannot tell if you hit him or not, and you're getting the call. Ryan knew he was late. Anderson did, but his momentum took him into Chad Kelly. He got the penalty. Got him deep, Engram.
Oh, does he ever? Engram by himself at the 20, and that is a touchdown, Ole Miss. I think you said earlier that Engram was going to be a big part of this game.
Absolutely. And this looks very familiar to the way they set up Florida State. Faking the screen. This time they fake a pitch. Alabama tries to close on it, and all of a sudden Engram is down the sideline.
That was a gain of 63. Good hold. And Wunderlich's extra point is up and through. Chad Kelly from Buffalo. Evan Engram from Powder Springs, Georgia. Chad Kelly now 9 of 13 for 167 yards. And look who he has tied with the most consecutive games with a passing touchdown. Eli Manning. Eli's mother and dad are here. Archie and Olivia. Peyton is not. He's on his way to China for a speaking appearance. Trayvon Diggs all the way out to the 43.
Well, a great design play by Ole Miss offensive coordinator Dan Warner. Watch him, they'll fake the pitch. Ronnie Harrison, the safety, gets too eager. No need to be making a play in the backfield, and you're the safety. Evan Engram in the slot just runs right by both of them. Cannot get any more open. The number one player on Ole Miss runs right past your last line of defense.
And there is an injured player back at the 20-yard line. So while they tend to him, we will step aside. Injured player number 37, Luke Davis, part of the special teams. And we are back to play for the first down 10. Alabama had a roughing the passer call and then a huge touchdown reception by Evan Engram. 17-3, Ole Miss. Hurts. Watch out. A.J. Moore, number 30.
I'll tell you, one thing I like what Dave Womack is doing as the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss. He's not really putting a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts with the front four, but he's not panicking and bringing the blitz. I think he's way down here at the end. Dave Womack, longtime defensive coordinator. He's being patient with his coverage. He feels maybe the weaker part of his defense is his secondary, and he's playing coverage in the secondary. He's not blitzing, and he's been known to blitz a lot, and he's putting pressure on Hurts to read the coverages.
Now they'll roll out to the left, being chased as Hurts bumped as he lets it go. There's contact, and there's a flag. Yes, indeed. Intended for Cam Sims, and there was a lot of contact.
Pass interference. Defense, number 30, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, A.J. Moore lost the ball in the air. It was a good throw. You know, one of those ones that Ole Miss does to Alabama right at the end. Jalen Hurts is letting it go, gets shoved after he lets the ball go by Haynes, number 10, but just does a jump off. He just throws it up there and he says, Cam Sims, can you make a catch? He's 6'5", by the way.
Yeah. O.J. Howard without a catch so far in the game. Had 5 in the first 2 games. He's over to the right. First down 10 after the penalty. And the ball at the 50-yard line. Jalen Hurts, the pass into the flat. Damian Harris slips the first tackle. Our aerial coverage today is provided by Goodyear. For 60 years, Goodyear has provided. They've also improved aerial coverage for college football's greatest traditions and biggest rivalries.
Alabama tried to go fast there with a quick snap and made a mistake.
False start. Offense. All 11 players not set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You have to be very careful when you try to go fastball offense. You make mistakes too. That's the point. You have to be good at it. They make some mistakes, but you do too. They had 2nd and 2, and now they're going to have 2nd and 7. Big part of this football game, down 17-3, 3 minutes to go. Remember, Alabama gets the ball to start the second half.
Oh, boom!
It's loose ball.
Picked up. John Youngblood, number 38. A flag is thrown as Youngblood scores.
Breland Speaks makes the bonehead play of all time here. Number 9, 30 yards behind the play, is going to bring this ball back.
The flag is at the 24. It was hurled from the 35-yard line.
I do not think he crossed the goal line, and Speaks way behind the play takes an unnecessary hit.
After the play was over, personal foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 9 on the defense. The touchdown is good. The penalty is being forced on the kickoff.
Well, Breland Speaks is going to catch a big break. The question is, did it happen before he scored, and if it's reviewable? Okay, now, he obviously scores, but we have to put it in sync to when the penalty happened. There's the penalty. He did not score. And it was the 5-yard line when that hit took place, and that should come back. I don't know if this is reviewable or not, though.
Marquise Haynes made the hit on Hurts. It was picked up by John Youngblood, wearing Chucky Mullen's old number, 38.
I'm just assuming, Vern, it's not reviewable, but it was obvious that it happened before he crossed the touchdown.
Okay,
here's the hit right here.
There it is.
That's the call. And he's on the 10-yard line. What a whiff by the officials on the field.
And we are told from the Birmingham head office that it is a non-reviewable play.
That's why I said it was a whiff on the field. Holy cow. Big hit, caused the fumble, and then a brain lock. It was Marquise Haynes that got the hit on Hurts, who may be. And my, oh my, what a turnaround for Alabama. The other part of this was Marquise Haynes, as they look at it again, was it a hit to the head on the quarterback? Remember, that is reviewable.
Here's the hit.
Oh, yes. He lowered the crown of his helmet, and that was reviewable.
Marquise Haynes, the defensive end, And here's the kick.
I didn't even see that. I saw the fumble. I saw the hit in the back by number 9, and then one more look. There could have been another one. And remember, that is an ejection from the game type hit. Watch him lower his head. Bang, right in the chin.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. Receiving team has chosen to take the football 30 yards from the spot of the kick. First down.
We are being told in a collaborative replay decision that Haynes' helmet was in the chest.
Jalen Hurts might argue for that one. Looked to me like he lowered the crown of his helmet and hit him right in the chin. Holy cow. What a hit.
Well, the kick was out of bounds. And Alabama gets it back at the 50-yard line. An amazing, extraordinary sequence of plays.
Should not have been a touchdown. I'll tell you that right now. Should have come back. The penalty was missed and whipped by the officials on the field.
Here's Hurts looking deep. Ridley is there. Got him. And Ridley inside the 30. That's a big play for Alabama.
Well, no one is tougher mentally in this conference than Alabama. They've been tested throughout Nick Saban's career, and they've always answered, this is going to be a tough one on the road here at Ole Miss. And remember, Ole Miss was up ahead of Florida State. They don't want to have it happen twice in 1 year.
Here's Hurts inside the 20, inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. Bradley Bozeman, number 75, the center, led the way.
Well, Hurts, remember, just gave up the fumble stack, the vicious hit, survives, and he comes out and runs a quarterback draw. What a tough football player.
Hemkus, number 84, and now looks like timeout is called by Alabama. Actually, it's Ole Miss. The Rebels call time. We are back in Oxford, Vaught Hemingway Stadium, and don't forget the Geico halftime report coming up at the end of this half. I'm just wondering if Rick Neuheisel and Brian Jones, Adam Zipper might have some thoughts on what we've just seen.
Well, remember, the official word from Birmingham is that it was not indisputably the crown of the helmet to the head. I thought he led with the crown of his helmet, hit him right in the chin.
This is the largest deficit faced by the Crimson Tide since the game against Utah.
They only got 10 guys out there. Now they got 11.
Play clock, fortunately, at 14. That was Gary Dieter. Direct snap to Ridley. Comes left. Dives in. Touchdown, Alabama. That's an answer, isn't it?
I don't know if it was supposed to work that way.
Really?
I think it was supposed to go to the quarterback, and he was supposed to toss it up to Ridley. Watch Jalen Hurts. He doesn't know what to really do after he looks to the bench like, what happened there, to tell you the truth. But Ridley heads up, catches it, and scores.
37 seconds, 3 plays. They had the out-of-bounds kickoff that set them up, and now Adam Griffith for the extra point. Up and good.
And this run becomes reminiscent for Ole Miss of when Florida State scored late in the first half, and then they could not stop them from there. Ole Miss turned. They get the ball. Plenty of time.
(24-10) with 2:10 to go, first half. The controversial plays began when it was 17-3. Just began then. A fumble return by John Youngblood, but a clear block in the back of a player back at the 40 or 35 as Youngblood was at the 11-yard.
Well, it was so unnecessary. Breland Speaks is 25 yards behind the play and then hits a guy in the back. and then the officials on the field got mixed up, thought he was crossing the end zone, and he crossed it.
Well, in this game last year in Tuscaloosa, the second consecutive win. This is the opening kickoff. Darius Stewart fumbled that. One of the season-high 5 turnovers in the game. And it led to a 43-37 Ole Miss victory. They had won here prior to that in 14.
Well, I think if you're Alabama, considering they gave up 2 huge plays back-to-back, Engram's touchdown and then the fumble for a touchdown. You know, you look up, 14-point game. I just say, calm down if I'm Nick Saban. Just play football. Don't overreact to your emotion.
That's King Judd. Ole Miss has 2 timeouts left. Alabama all 3. Second down, 7.
The way they're going to go fast here. They do not want to give Alabama the ball back unless they can get a first down. Then they'll go fast.
King Judd. Let's see. How about the big plays so far today?
Yeah, we're talking about the back-to-back plays. They fake a pitch out to the running back. 3 safety bites, and Evan Engram, their biggest weapon, is left wide open. And then Marquise Haynes has the sack, the fumble, and a walk into the end zone. Back-to-back plays. Alabama answers. And now on 3rd and about 6, they take a timeout, an aggressive call by Nick Saban, daring Ole Miss to try to make a first down.
1:32 to go. It's 3rd and 5 officially. And both Alabama and Ole Miss 2 timeouts remaining. We do. Keep it on the ground.
Well, you got a senior quarterback. You keep it on the ground, you're most likely going to have to punt with, a minute to 15 seconds to go in the half. I think you got to trust your quarterback here. Say, Chad, give me a good throw. I can't have a turnover. If it's not there, take a sack or throw it away.
See Engram in tight. Here's Kelly. He's got time. He now is being chased. And he will get popped.
This was a run all the way.
Yeah.
It was a design scramble by Kelly. And boy, did he take a hit on the sideline. He's a running back now. And he takes a running back pop that time. I think it was Hamilton, wasn't it? Or was it Reuben Foster?
It was Reuben Foster.
Don't want to get hit by Reuben Foster.
4th down 3. Will Gleason is on the punt for Ole Miss. They use 2 punters. This is the rugby-style punt. Eddie Jackson. Eddie Jackson. 1 man to beat. And he beat him. There's a flag at the 32-yard line. And there's also one back at the 35.
Yeah, I think there was a block in the back here early in this punt return. So when it was 17-3, I said, this is a big drive for Alabama. We've had 3 drives since then.
I know.
Happened a little bit before, just as he started to turn the corner on his return.
Now they're trying to sort out these 2 different flags.
Illegal formation. on the kicking team. That penalty is refused. During the return, personal foul, illegal hands to the face, number 30 on the kicking team.
Wow, touchdown.
That penalty is administered on the kickoff.
They're going to call this a touchdown. Both penalties on Ole Miss. I thought there was a block in the back. They did not call it.
It's an 85-yard return.
How about that? We say Alabama's pretty tough-minded. After the fumble touchdown on a play that shouldn't have been a touchdown, they've scored twice.
Adam Griffith with the extra point attempt out of Cooper Bateman's hold. It is up, and it is good. And guess what? It's 24-17. You might want to stay with us. Well,
all right, it's right in this area right here. Let's see if we can see anything, a hand to the face. Maybe right at the end. I did not see it, to tell you. Right at the end, maybe after Eddie Jackson kind of goes by, a late hand to the face. We were able to expand it a little bit. The ball carrier runs out of it. Right at the end, was it? I thought it was going to be one of those blocks in the back like they always call, and so did Lane Kiffin, because he walked out there and almost threw the flag down thinking it was a penalty. But back-to-back touchdowns, and remember, that's why I said, Kelly might want to throw the ball here. They were very conservative. They called it a running play. It was a design scramble by Kelly. He did not pick up the first down. And now Alabama gets the kickoff from the 50-yard line.
Well, I'm thinking back to the opening game of the year. Ole Miss up 35-10 on Florida State. And with less than minutes to go, Florida State scored a touchdown. And then they dominated the second half. So may we all live in interesting times. This is one of them.
Yeah, I just did not like Hugh Freeze's offense on third down. You got a fifth-year senior quarterback against a tough Alabama team. You knew your defense was reeling a little bit. You needed a first down, and you did not trust your quarterback to throw the ball.
Alabama has scored 14 points, as you can see, in the last 65 seconds. Well, when you see two flags on a punting play, what are the odds they're both going to be against the punters?
They punt again?
Wow. Hakeem Judd. $50 seconds to go. Second down and 6. They do have 2 timeouts left.
I give Chad Kelly a lot of credit. There'll be a lot of quarterbacks that will be looking cross-eyed over the bench, including a couple Mannings, one of them that played here.
And two
of them that played here.
Yeah, 2 of them. One of them's watching on television, and one of them, Cooper Manning is also here, the older brother of the 3. Kelly will run. Out of bounds for the first down at the 41-yard line. 17 seconds to go.
Well, now with Kelly's arm, he should have a chance, and the timeouts left, to put him in the field goal range or one of those positions where he can throw it deep enough with the big receivers to get a Hail Mary throw.
That was a gain of 13. Chad Kelly, well documented. He's from Buffalo, enrolled in Clemson, got kicked out of Clemson, off the Clemson football team. Went to East Mississippi Community College. Got a chance to bring it all back. That one is knocked down. And really has grown up in his years here in Oxford. As a matter of fact, the last 2 years, Chad has led a mission to Haiti to help with the Haitian Relief Fund. 24-17. 5 seconds to go, and that's
You're
going
not
to do
going to
it.
make a throw to the end zone?
Nope.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Let's pull in our wings. It's time for Inside Access, presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the SEC. Here's Allie with Nick Saban.
Coach, after a start defined by mental mistakes, big plays for Ole Miss, your team brought it within 7. How'd you turn it around?
Well, we can't make the mental errors. I mean, we've given up 3 big plays on mental errors on defense, and we got to execute better. I mean, that's what we said in the beginning of the game. And really, they're not doing anything that we should be making mental mistakes on. We just don't play with any poise here. So, we got to do a better job on offense of not getting the penalties and the negative plays, which is really putting us behind the 8 ball. So, hopefully in the second half, we just got to do a better job of executing.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
And so you hear from Nick Saban. That's the end of the first half with our score 24-17. Interesting here in Oxford. I'll bet it's the same way back in New York. Let's go to Adam Zipper in our New York studio.
Interesting.
We are back ready for the third quarter of play. I don't know that we can top all the things that happened in quarter number 2. It's 24-17. What are your expectations?
Listen, we have a nice halftime up here, but I think in both locker rooms, there was a lot going on, and in the officials' locker room, I think they were looking at each other too.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, they're up.
We started talking about your interpretation of basketball law.
Well, I think too much is given. It's too broad. We've talked about what the hurry up, no huddle really doesn't explain exactly what's going on. I call it a no huddle, sometimes hurry up. So we charted in the first half the success of Ole Miss and how they moved the ball. They did a good job moving the ball. But how many times did they actually run the fastball offense? Because I've always maintained they give you the look of going fast, but they don't go as fast as you think. And Alabama has plenty of time to get their defense called, and too many people are giving too much credit to teams just tricky. And if you look right here, 29 total plays in the first half, 8 of them first possession of a drive. That can't be fastball. And then you go on from there, we're going 5 fastball plays.
Alabama gets the ball as we start the second half. And Nathan Noble plants that one 9.5 yards back. And a reminder that Ardarius Stewart, the outstanding wide receiver, was injured in the first half, and he is not in full uniform. Gave him a concussion protocol.
Yep. By his own guy. How about that, too?
He's carrying the axe.
Yeah, you saw it right there as we ran through it. Ole Miss only went fastball 5 times in the first half. And as we get there, we'll show you what those 5 plays actually produced.
First down and 10 after 25. Jalen Hurts has gone the distance, the true freshman quarterback from Channelview, Texas. Dad is a football coach. Play fake, looks deep, fires deep, has a man. It's Calvin Ridley, and he has to turn to his left.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts was way late throwing this ball. Calvin Ridley just outran his arm. This is not a big surprise. The biggest difference from throwing as a quarterback from high school to this level, the guys you're throwing to now outrun you. You wait a little too long, you don't have enough arm to get him the ball. Ridley just outran Jalen Hurts on that play.
Second down, 10. 24-17. Inside, incomplete. It was behind Calvin Ridley. Third down, 10.
It's hard to believe Jalen Hurts has thrown the ball 25 times, 23 in the first half. A true freshman on the road and has Either you or I, it was either you or me, Vern, said that Nick Saban has never had a true freshman start for him as a college coach.
And the first true freshman to start for Alabama in 32 years. The last was in 1984. Hurts will run, directs a blocker. Calvin Ridley helped him out. And as he scooted for the first down, it was Ridley who held his block on the perimeter.
You know, I don't think there's anybody in college football, as you watch Jalen Hurts gets outside the pocket and scramble, that does a better job than Lane Kiffin assessing what his quarterback does well, whether it's Blake Sims, or Jake Coker, and now Jalen Hurts, and then calling the play to that game than Lane Kiffin does. He finds something and he goes with it.
Nice tackle on Bo Scarborough that results in a gain of nothing. It was Tony Connor again, number 12. Listed as a nickelback. By the way, Alabama now in the game, 5 of 10 on third down conversions.
Three-man rush, Gus.
Got a man out on the left side. It's O.J. Howard, his first catch of the day.
Dave Womack, defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, will not crack. He's not going to bring the blitz. He's playing coverage, and he wants to challenge the young quarterback to read coverage and stay patient. He's looking for him to force a football and get a cheapie.
Third down 5. Officially. Looks more like 4. Hurts takes off, gets a good block on the corner, but he does not get the first down. Cedric Woods.
Excuse me, Vern. I mean, listen, Lane Kiffin is matched up. He knows that Ole Miss, veteran defense, facing a veteran defensive coordinator, doesn't want to challenge his young player to make a mistake, so he runs a running play with the quarterback, and it is stopped. You know, I think that's a little different than not letting Chad Kelly throw. You know, you got Kelly.
Sure. J.K. Scott on the punt. Van Jefferson is the deep man. He's at the 10. Scott. Nice, high, deep.
Right on the sideline. Can't do it any better.
Nope. Out of bounds at the 6-yard line. A 50-yard punt. It's been an interesting day for J.K. Scott. Ole Miss has the ball and the lead 24-17. Gary, let's finish off the fastball offense.
Yeah, let's look at it. 29 total plays. 8 of them were the first possession of a series, so they can't go fast. They are remaining 21. They substituted on 2 of them, means they had 19 options. They went slow or medium slow 14 times, and only fast snap 5 times. Actual fastball offense, all 5 were passes. Nothing really big. They were effective, but not big. On that first drive, it led to a touchdown. It actually wasn't a fastball, and their big play to Engram was after a penalty. So no real trick-em plays in the first half. And I continue to say too many people can give too much credit to just saying tempo. There's more to it.
I don't believe that. I'm a believer. On first down, they go to the right side. It's a
it's a tactic.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's used, and I think being used very smartly by Ole Miss. You can't go too fast. You don't really have 3 straight 3 and outs.
Right.
So you have to be careful to protect your defense.
Judd with 9 carries now for 39 yards. And Kelly is 9 of 14. Not much pressure here. He comes from the backside. Fumble picked up by Alabama. Did he cross the line? Yes, he did. Deron Payne. Ryan Anderson got there from the backside, forced the fumble, and Payne recovered in the end zone.
Vern, last year, Chad Kelly had 64 passes for more than 20 yards. Hard to believe that his mental clock did not start ticking near the goal line. He hung onto the ball way too long, allowed Ryan Anderson to get a cheap sack and a touchdown. That's one of those where you would expect that your quarterback would just get rid of the ball, live to fight another day. He just was going too much for the big play.
And they're going to review to see whether
Covered
Payne
and advance for a touchdown by Alabama. The previous play is under further review.
He does not feel Ryan Anderson, and then ends up fumbling the ball. Well, did his knee come down? It was close, but I think it was out before his knee came down. That's the first thing they will look at.
Right.
And then they will see if the knee came down before the ball crossed the plane. First was Kelly's knee down before the ball popped out. He can feel Anderson, but he thinks he can get away from him. Can't see on that one whether his knee was down or the ball was loose on that one. No clear look. Let's look at how the ball was stumbling out. So the ball is going to be fumbled now. Was the ball out? Boy, it's hard to change that one.
I don't think they will.
No, hard to change that one. He's stretching the ball out from that look.
Yep.
You can't tell if the ball didn't break the plane. Ball's reached out. I do not see how they can overturn either one of these calls. That'll count as a touchdown. One more look.
One more look. Knee knocked down, ball over the plane.
How helpless. We've seen 2 sack touchdowns in this football game.
It's so critical that John Bible, the replay official here, it's also being reviewed back in the SEC offices in Birmingham. Steve Shaw, Director of Officials, is a part of that crew. And the call was a touchdown for Alabama.
Vern, watch Anderson jam Engram, and then the offensive tackle lets him go. That's why he had a free run. Sean Rollins, number 50, thinks that Anderson's going to continue with the receiver. He jams Engram and then comes late and still has enough time to get Chad and force the fumble.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
Well, there's a small section in the northeast corner that is applauding like crazy. And they are dressed in crimson and white. So the Alabama fans, the rest of this crowd is rather subdued. Adam Griffith on to attempt to tie it. Done.
Well, we saw Alabama's mental toughness. Now Hugh Freeze has to look at his team. They've blown a 24-3 lead. They collapsed against Florida State. He wanted his team to be emotional. Will they finish this game?
Our aerial coverage today provided by Goodyear. For 60 years, Goodyear has provided aerial coverage of college football's greatest traditions and biggest rivalries. Well, it was 24-3, Ole Miss.
Beautiful shot of the Grove there, huh, Vern?
Yes. That's one of the, they look a little grumpy. 21 points in the last 5-23. You know, we come here, we get so busy that neither one of us has spent much time in the Grove. Well, I was over as a guest on the SEC Nation show this morning in the middle of the Grove, and I thought, let's do the game from here. Stick around for a while. Here's the kickoff.
Well, Vern, Chad Kelly made a big mistake, but remember a year ago against Alabama, he was 12 for 19 for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, there was a fluky one there, you know, and then the RPO play where he rolls out, that could have been called a penalty, but it wasn't. and he's going to have a big-time half. He's the guy. They don't have anything else. They need to go back to the basics and pretend that this is the first drive of the game the way they opened the game.
And they did so on a 7-play, 75-yard drive. And touchdown. They had a 7-0 lead on the opening sequence. Kelly's nailed. Sean beyond Hamilton.
Well, I'll tell you, one of those delayed blitzes right in the middle. He waits a step, sees the offensive line turn, and gets a free run. Alabama is so much more built to handle a no-huddle offense. Their linebackers are smaller, their defensive ends run better, their safeties are more like corners. They almost yawn when these people try to go fast.
Kelly flips it out to Akeem Judd, number 21, and it is going to be 3rd and long. Well, let's take a look at what's happened in the second halves for both teams. Alabama plus 46, that's 4th in the NCAA. Ole Miss minus 22. And we just began the second half here. 3rd and 18, 4-man rush, here they come. Kelly lets it go. Jonathan Allen got there first.
Well, when Alabama knows it's a sure passing situation, the Ole Miss line cannot handle it. Between the elite rushers of Tim Williams, Ryan Anderson, and Jonathan Allen, and throw into the delayed blitz every once in a while, they can't handle it.
Eddie Jackson is back. He already has an 88-yard punt return for a touchdown in this game. Gary Wunderlich will punt, and it's more of a line drive, and on one hop, here comes Jackson.
He waved his hands, and once you wave your hands, the ball is dead right where you catch it.
And now we've got a little verbal exchange.
Watch Jackson wave his hands, and then when he catches it, it's dead right there.
Tie game at 24.
Middle, Engram is wide open. Loose ball, touchdown.
Fumble, picked up by Alabama. Did he cross the line? Yes. Other than that, just your average SEC encounter. One of the regular members of our crew is missing today. Chuck Gardner, who's been my statistician for more than 20 years, basketball and football, not feeling the best. Talked to him yesterday. He's going to be just fine, but he took the weekend off. And Brian Taylor, another old friend, has taken his place to join Butch Baird and David Moulton and Gary and me in a very, very closely guarded front of the booth. It's not one of the bigger booths in the SEC.
Well, fitting in there, and they finally fit one into O.J. Howard. Right at the nick of time.
Scholar Athlete, presented by Quicken Loans. How about this? O.J. Howard has graduated. John Youngblood from Ole Miss as well. Quicken Loans' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Alabama and Ole Miss General Scholarship Fund. First down 10, 45, tie game. Damian Harris, number 34.
It almost looks like a mistake now for the Alabama offense to run with the quarterback under center and just power football right between the guards and the tackles. And that time, great block by Alphonse Taylor. Back in the football game after being out for the past couple games. He's back at his right guard spot and moves Ross Brubaker back over to the left guard spot.
Center is Bradley Bozeman. Cam Simpson, and here comes Damian Harris again, running until the whistle blows, and it finally does. Harris Harris now with 8 carries for 40 yards. The leading rusher is Hurts, Jalen Hurts, 11 for 65.
Well, let me give you a little good news, bad news.
Okay.
Alabama is now rushing this game for 140 yards. Since 2008, Nick Saban is 81-4 when they rush for 140 yards or more. 2 losses, Auburn and Ohio State in that game. The other 2, Ole Miss, the last 2 years. How about that?
Hurts can't get away from the second tackle. That's DeMarcus Gates, number 3.
So it's a little good news, bad news. 81-4, but 2 of the 4 losses were to these guys.
Second down 10, 24 all. You're a late bloomer getting to the game after you went shopping. It was 24-3. Ole Miss at 1 point. Hurts from the corner, watch out. He had to hurry to let it go because DeMarcus Gates was coming at it.
Yes, remember the delayed blitz that Alabama runs. Ole Miss does the same thing to the outside, and Hurts could feel the blitz coming. He stood as long as he could and let it go. Not a bad release. Good bravery by the quarterback. He knew he had to pick a spot. He wasn't quite ready to throw it.
Third down 10 in a tie game in the third quarter.
Okay, Marquise Haynes, number 10. He's going up against a freshman. Right there. That's their elite pass rusher to the bottom of the screen.
Hurts chased. He'll tuck it. He'll run it. He gets a downfield block from Bo Scarborough. And that was enough to give him room to scoot out of bounds and get the first down.
Well, this is how Jalen got the job. First he was Deshaun Watson on the scout team, and then throughout the fall and spring practice, he continued to make plays like that.
Up the middle, Bo Scarborough. He was, in his earlier days at Alabama, a man of enormous promise. It hasn't quite blossomed the way he or they envisioned it. Right side. It's Scarborough again. Flags back at the 10 and 15-yard line.
Yeah, I think O.J. Howard's going to get called for one of the flags. They might both be on him. I think he kind of manhandled the end of the line of scrimmage.
Offense. Number 88, 10-yard foul for the previous spot. Repeat second down.
Yeah, that was a big mistake right there. They had a good running play. No need to continue to hold. And O.J. got, he's right here at the end of the line of scrimmage, and watch him just grab some jersey. And when the spin happens, it's too easy to call that. Had Marquise Haynes, number 10, and Kiffin goes, no. We finally had a running play. Coach finally wasn't going to yell at me when I get a running play going, and look what happens.
Now, they had a well-publicized confrontation on the sideline last week. Hurts hurdles down inside the 15. Well, last week, late in the win over Western Kentucky, things didn't go well toward the end of the game. Whoops. And it went even worse when the touchdown was scored, which led to this. They always calm Nick Saban against the usually demonstrative Lane Kiffin.
Give Lane a lot of credit.
Yeah, you bet.
You have to stay in there, and he's the head coach, and you work for him, and you got to take it sometimes.
Third down, tie game. Hurts. Well, that's going to be very close at the 11-yard line.
Yes. Well, it's such a different football team. So I think it's going to be short. Hurts has now carried the ball, 15 or 16 times?
15.
And thrown the ball close to 30?
Yep. 28.
Holy cow.
Yeah. True freshman.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I think both Scarborough can't quite get the feel of the offense. You know, he was brought in to be that downhill tailback, like an Ed Lacy type guy, and he's just not quite meshing with the new style.
30 yards for Adam Griffith to break the tie, which he has done, and Alabama leads for the first time in the game. 27-24. They have climbed back from the 24-3 hold.
Welcome back to Alabama Ole Miss, where Alabama has taken the lead 27-24. Throughout the year, the league, the fans, the whole SEC community is paying tribute to our very own Vern Lundquist, and we get to enjoy some of it from down here on the field. Earlier today, this is the way they honored Vern. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a little round of applause for Vern Lundquist, enjoying his final season calling SEC football games for CBS. Congratulations on a great career, Uncle Vern, and thank you.
Vern, it was so great to see everyone rise to their feet and cheer for you. And yesterday you received some gifts, not only from head coach Hugh Freeze, but also a special guest, Archie Manning. Lucky you.
Appreciate your friendship. Thank you, Arch. Oh, my.
You know, Allie, thank you. It's awfully difficult to not get emotional when Archie Griffin. Archie Manning. Archie Griffin? This is not Ohio.
That's how emotional it was.
Like that, that's right. Well, that'll make a few highlight reels. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, Archie.
If we get Ohio State in the Sun Bowl, you're going to have to come just to do it.
I'll do it, and I'll introduce Archie at the half. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Oh, dear. Well, it has been a wonderful first 3 weeks of the last season, and the reaction of the fans and people like Archie Manning and Hugh Freeze here.
Back-to-back weeks, Steve Spurrier, Archie Manning.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, look at this. Says Ole Miss only had 5 plays in the second half, one of them being a turnover for a touchdown, and these plays are starting to get out of hand. Alabama's had 15 in the second half, and now the defense will not hold up. Ole Miss has to make some first downs. Engram? Maybe.
Incomplete. Kelly is 9 of 16. Ole Miss 1 of 7 on third downs, and they've missed 6 in a row. Alabama shows an inclination to bring a bunch here.
Yeah, I bet they don't.
No?
They don't have to. They might bring an extra guy, but why would you? They're getting rid of the 4 and 1 extra.
Good point by you. They should have blitzed. DeMarcus Lodge makes the catch for a first down.
Yeah, the offensive line that time finally got a stalemate up front and gave Kelly an opportunity to step into a throw. And that time, a matchup with Ronnie Harrison was a win.
And on first down, they run of the left tackle. It's Eugene Brasley, number 23.
Ole Miss substitutes and an injured player right here at the same play. Running back. Brasley, number 23, runs into Ron Payne, about 350 pounds.
And so Brasley is still down at the 8-yard line.
They already had 2 running backs, one suspended for the year, Jordan Wilkins, and of course they've lost Eric Sweeney. This is really their only running back backup on the team unless they go to a true freshman.
Mm-hmm. Freshman is Devon Tournament.
And you know, let's assume then that it's not real bad news for Brasley. This is not the worst thing that could happen for Ole Miss. For their defense and everybody to catch a breath here.
Mm-hmm. Nice little gesture of friendship. A little handshake.
That was the late hit by Harrison that really caught him.
Some of those gone. Ken Webster injured in the very first game. Eric Swinney wasn't well. DK Metcalf, they were counting on him. Broken foot last week.
Remember Metcalf and then Jordan Wilkins, he was the other running back. He was the guy that tipped the ball over the Florida State defender and caught it for the touchdown. That's Metcalf.
Second down. Hakeem Judd, the running back. Here's Kelly. Drills it inside, and that's going to be another chain mover. Van Jefferson makes the tackle.
And that's what I think this Ole Miss team has to do. Peck away with the passing game. Put a little couple draws in there, maybe a screen, and then go deep out. They need to get the ball in and out of Kelly's hands quickly.
That one didn't do much. It was Judd. And the tackle made it to the 44-yard line. That is Minka Fitzpatrick, number 29.
Fitzpatrick takes on a block and throws his body. Oh, his head. Did you see his head snap forward? Trying to make the tackle on Judd. His knee gets hit right there. Oh. Be the second guy into the tent.
Doctor's out. 46-yard line. Sophomore from Blue Ridge, New Jersey, who made a big impact for this team. It was two freshmen.
Yeah, he got hit in the back of the head. Nick's pointing to the back of the head. And I'm telling you right now, Nick, if you go to practice, Nick Saban actually still runs the cornerback drills. He's out there throwing the ball, putting it through the drills. That's his love, teaching the bump and run coverage for his corners.
By the way, they're home next week against Kent State. Nick's out in water. He played defensive back there for Don James, and he and Gary Finkel, very successful coach at Missouri for so many years, with GAs on that team. On second down, Kelly. Complete. That's Evan Engram again. And now here comes Ole Miss. Let's see if they do run the hurry up after the 11-yard gain for the first down.
I'll tell you what, I just believe that Chad Kelly, just give him time to look at the defense. Let him get the ball out of his hand fast instead of snapping the ball fast. He's a pretty darn good thrower.
Into the corner. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. DeMaurier Stringfellow. $33 yards.
As we said, he's a pretty good thrower. Marlon Humphreys in coverage. The ball's put exactly on the target. His knee went down, but it looked like the ball was hitting the plane of the goal line. And as we've talked over and over again about Alabama's defense of style, you throw a perfect pass, you got a chance to complete it. They're playing man all the time. And that was a perfect throw.
Stringfellow, a junior. And they are reviewing, Gary, to see if that, I think, if that knee came down before the ball crossed the line.
Yeah, but again, you know, this looks, if you're remembering how like a Trevor Knight had the success he did for Oklahoma, knee down, ball short, looks like, doesn't it?
Yep.
I'll tell you, I don't know if his knee, it's like inches, if the knee is just dragging. Yeah, I think it's. Well, I'll tell you.
After review, the ruling is that the ball carrier was down short of the goal line. The ball is placed at the half-yard line, first and goal.
Perfect throw, decent coverage. You force a perfect throw, and Chad Kelly makes a perfect throw.
It is a first down, just inches away from the goal line. It's called 2 feet.
Got some horses in there.
No signal yet. That was Akeem Judd. He's listed at 5'11", 228. But he did have some help in that backfield, didn't he?
I remember in last year's game watching it, they had and they're going to signal touchdown late. Or at least, was the ball across the line?
I think the reaction was to the replay on the jumbotron.
Right. But watch the Judge stretch out the ball before he falls down here. See, he stretches out the ball. I think you could make the argument that his knee wasn't down and it's a touchdown.
Looks like they are going to take a look at it.
The ruling on the field is that the ball carrier was down short of the goal line. The previous play is under further review.
Now, as we've learned before, Vern, they have to see the knees and the ball here. He was ruled down. We still see his knees. That appears like the ball was across there, and his knees were not down. See, now here's the thing again. Can they determine if his knee was down? Because we already saw that a week ago, right?
Yeah.
They have to clearly see his knee was not down. Watch the knees. Well, we're going to find out. I could not clearly see the knees. They didn't look down to me.
Again, the replay official is John Bible.
I'm going to guess touchdown. What do you think?
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Oh, same ruling.
Oh.
Same ruling as 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Since it was ruled no touchdown, they could not conclusively say his knees weren't down. So they're more consistent than I was.
And, of course, I agreed with the replay official. You knew that. Archie Griffith and I both agreed.
Yes, there you go.
Archie Manning was not so sure.
Right. Well, there was a goal line stand in last year's game, and it ended up Chad Kelly had to take it around the end and score on a keeper. Let's see what they do on second down. Well, they run right at him again.
He's got Engram in the backfield. Oh, boy.
No movement. How big was that call now?
Boy. Javon Patterson, number 79.
Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Now, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the shift by the Alabama defender right here. That shift forced him to flinch on the play and caused the 5-yard loss.
Kelly. Sean Dion Hamilton.
They're almost playing Kelly on the run here, aren't they?
Yes, they sure seem to be.
Dion Hamilton never even looked at the ball carrier that time.
Third and go.
I can tell you a play that Ole Miss loves in this situation. If they could get the slot to Engram, throwing the ball up and letting him have a jump ball.
Kelly in trouble. Dodges the tackle. Fakes it. Bangs his way toward the goal line. And did the ball come loose?
I don't know. They spun it. He spun in.
No, it's a touchdown. It was recovered, I believe, by Stringfield.
Now they'll have to see if Kelly's knee was down.
Touchdown.
He's scrambling out. Takes a hit. Spins. Was he down and then the ball? I think the ball came out after he was down. This is going to be 4th and a yard.
Yep. Once again, we
The
agree.
previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field is a fumble into the end zone.
Kind of a day do you think John Bibles had it, right?
The previous play is under further review.
He definitely fell on the ground. Ball's in, ball's in, ball's in. Now the ball comes out late. I would call that down. Determine, and that looked to me, was there any movement before he hit the ground? I did not see it. And then, Vern, what do you do if it's 4th down?
Yeah.
You tie it up?
I think so. You've still got the 4th quarter to play.
He's got the ball.
After review, the ruling is that the ball carrier was down at the 1 yard line.
Yep. So how about that early call on the 1st down play? And now they got to go. What a goal line stand for Alabama.
So it appears Ole Miss will attempt to do a goal to tie it up. It's Gary Wunderlich.
Alabama only has 10 men on the field. Now 11 just carried.
Yeah. 4th and goal, Wunderlich for the tie. .147 to go in the 3rd quarter. We are tied at 27.
Okay, Vern wants me to handle the Geico rundown here of reviews. Is that how you do it, Vern?
You bet.
So the first Geico rundown was the pass. The original pass, remember this was called touchdown, and then after the review, it was down at the half-yard line. The first down play was called short, but then we saw the ball cross the line, and they said they can't change it. Then they had the penalty. The Geico play is still August. What a drive. And we got so much time here, we're going to do one more. The last play, when Chad Kelly scrambles, gets down. It's called a touchdown on the field, but again, it's overturned. 4th and a half yard per field goal. Our Geico plays of the game.
Very well done. Now, I want you to do that again in the 4th quarter. And we'll have a deep voice guy.
Have you ever had that many in a row?
No,
I've never seen it.
Well, and I'm smiling because I saw John Bibles, as I mentioned, and he said, I had 6 reviews last week at Vandy. Not that, this is a little bigger than...
when you review it, though, there were 3 replays, and they all fell in favor of Alabama.
First down, 25-yard line, game tied, 1:47 to go, 3rd quarter. How about that little bit of trickeration? That's Damian Harris. They faked the reverse to Calvin Ridley.
We've just been watching Alabama for so long, so many years right now. You'd see Engram, Lacey, or Henry just start to pound now, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Same play.
It sure was. Wow, look at this. Damian Harris on the loose, hangs on tight for the football, And he has scored.
Alabama gave a little fast football back to Ole Miss. They repeated the same play. Both plays were successful, but was his knee down? We're going to start this all over again. Following O.J. Howard, nice cutback behind. Sprint to the end zone. Throws off a tackler, and then was his knee down?
I think so.
His knee was down, but we don't see the ball. Let's see. Knee down, short of the line. Here we go again.
Yep.
Same routine, other side of the field.
Well, that's either 68 and a touchdown or 67. Miles Hartsfield, the freshman.
Great use of fast football there by Alabama. They ran the same play over again. Nothing real tricky about it. Ran the ball. Nobody had to read anything. Just lined up and attacked.
After review, the ruling is that the ball carrier was down at the 1.5-yard line. First and goal, Alabama.
I think 1.5 is a little generous, but we'll see. Ball's being stretched. Yeah, I can understand that. 1.5-yard line seems fair to me, and I think Alabama will take it considering they got the last 3 on the other side.
Yes. 1:06 to go, third quarter. Tie game. A 67-yard run. Damian Harris now 10 carries for 114 yards. Bo Scarborough is the running back. Hurts in the spread. Scarborough up the middle. I don't think he got in.
No. I have no remembrance of who it was against, but I do remember a couple years ago in a situation like this, Blake Sims ran a naked bootleg on a play similar to this. Let's see if they dial up something like that. I think it was against Ole Miss 2 years ago here.
Yeah. Here's Hurts, quick snap.
Got him. Dive,
touchdown.
Yep.
Bo Scarborough jumps up and in for the touchdown.
Well, that time the offensive line was able to double team inside, and Bradley Bozeman, number 75, helped next to him and then came off late on the linebacker. Great job by Bozeman.
Adam Griffith. And that extra point is up and good. 75 yards, most of it on a huge run by Damian Harris. And Alabama has reclaimed the lead. Bo Scarborough's 1-yard touchdown run, and Alabama has outscored Ole Miss 31-3. Coming up, the Napa play of the game, presented by Napa Auto Parts. We got to open up the phone lines and let you vote because we've got a variety of choices. And that's going to be a touchback. Let's go to Adam Zucker in our New York studio for an ad repair. Thought that might happen. 34-27 here. 16 seconds to go.
We just got an eternity to go in this football game.
Oh, gosh. Eugene Brasley. And that might be the final play. Instead, it was Devon Penniman. Well, we mentioned a while ago, Gary did, that their next running back is a true freshman. Ruben Foster is down. Oh, boy.
He's cramping up. I know Alabama fans hope he's cramping up. Very important football player for him. It does look like he's cracked.
Yeah. One humid day here in Austin. Hope that's all it is.
No, you said it. Second half again. And it's been, could be a nightmare, but it looks to me like Chad Kelly is on the mark now.
And
we'll see
now
what
it's
happens.
time for our Geico game recap.
We're going to tease you with a Geico game recap. And let you do it this
No,
time.
I'm done.
No, you're done.
I'm done.
Gary handles replays. I get the scores. That's the end of 3. Right back after this message and a word from your local station. Welcome back to Vaught Hemingway Stadium on the campus of Ole Miss in Oxford. 34-27. Alabama outscored Ole Miss 17-3 in that third quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Allie LaForce, and I don't know that we can top that third quarter stuff anymore. I'll give you a quick think about it.
Miss better find something to top it.
Kelly,
Boom.
that's a pretty good start.
Yep. Well, and that's nothing surprising. You go to players, not plays, and he went to Engram again.
What do you expect for the next 14
There better be more than that.
The
there better be more of that. You know, the second halves have been a disaster for Ole Miss. They've been outscored by 39 points on the season. Alabama for the season is up 60 points. And Ole Miss better find a way to turn that around, and it's got to be through number 10.
Now Kelly is 15 of 22, 262. And a touchdown. Van Jefferson goes over to the left side. Kelly behind the intended receiver. Quincy attaboy Joe. And there is a flag.
Yeah, this was an interesting
Pass
one.
interference. Defense. Number 26. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Kelly was throwing a back shoulder throw here, and attaboy Joe had no idea. And he ended up, look, he wasn't even really trying to get around and bumped into him just as the ball passed him. That was the right call. You're not allowed him to get there, but there was a little miscommunication between attaboy Joe and Kelly, and first and 10.
First down 10 after 29. Evan Engram in tight. Just 4 yards back. He looks back at the coaches on the sideline. He gets the play. Devon Penniman is the running back. Here's Kelly.
Same play.
This time Marlon Humphrey.
Oh, I'll tell you, that time Evan Engram goes, how could you not throw that ball to me? Watch, I think he is, right down the slot right here. Got him. Look at how open he was.
Yeah, a little frustration.
And it's a matchup he likes. He's got the strong safety, Ronnie Harrison. Ronnie Harrison, good football player, but can't match up with Evan Engram. They're going to blitz here.
Engram is top of the screen this time. Kelly comes up. This may be a change. Reuben Foster's back in the game. And Young goes behind Engram. Kelly, rather.
Vern, you were right. Once Ole Miss recognized the blitz, Jeremy Pruitt and Alabama called it off, and they did not have what they thought they wanted.
Third down 10.
Let's see if that Ole Miss offensive line can keep the talent of Alabama's pass rush off the quarterback here.
4 down, and the 4 are coming, and Kelly's running up the middle and bounces near the 21. That's going to be short. Reuben Foster, who was out with cramps for a while, makes the tackle this time.
Yeah, big decision here for Hugh Freeze. Should he go for it on 4th down or attempt the field goal?
He's going to send Gary Wunderlich out.
The way they couldn't make it near the goal line, I don't blame them.
Yeah. Wunderlich has made 2 today from in close, 23 and 18.
See if Alabama plays really safe. They do.
And the kick is through, 38 yards. So the margin is cut to 4. 34-30, 13-17 remaining. Now we're back at Vaught Hemingway in Oxford.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
Ole Miss scored first on its opening drive of the game. It was Akeem Judd in from 23. Ole Miss up 7-0. Evan Engram on a 63-yard touchdown after a couple of field goals by either team. That made it 17-3. And here was a fumble return for a touchdown. John Youngblood wearing number 38. There was a flag that was thrown behind it. And then Calvin Ridley on the sweep as Alabama scored 2 touchdowns in 1:05. 24-17, and then one of the backbreakers, Eddie Jackson, 2 flags on the play, both on Ole Miss. That went for 88 yards. Payne fumble, return for a touchdown, 24-all. Here's the first Alabama lead. Adam Griffith. And then Ole Miss was stopped 3 times at the goal line with reviews. That was 1. Here was 2, as it was ruled that Kelly had fumbled into the end zone. And then Payne with a 3-yard fumble return. 24-24. And right now, it's a 4-point game. Trayvon Diggs.
Need a break?
Yeah.
All right, Vern.
Will you take over?
I'll tell. Here's the problem for Ole Miss, okay? They've been keeping their safeties back to protect their injured secondary and their young safeties, and, they're missing a corner. The problem is now Alabama has rushed the ball for 247 yards in the game. So now how do they adjust? Does Dave Almond continue to play back with his safeties, or does he say we have to move up and try to stop the run?
Bo Scarborough is the running back. Jalen Hurts has played every offensive play as the quarterback. Here's Scarborough. And there goes Scarborough out across the 40 and tackled at the 44. There's a flag down back at the 22-yard line.
Holding, offense, number 50. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That's Alphonse Taylor. That wipes out a huge Alabama game.
He's right there. Let's see what happens. The cut usually produces something like that. The defense sees him go a different way. And then just for a half second, Alphonse Taylor thinks he's got his guy going one way, and all of a sudden he's going the other way, and he gets a little bit of jersey.
The last win from trailing by 21 or more in 89 here. They trailed by 21 and won 62-27. First down, 20. Nothing. Bo Scarborough again. We have no report that Damian Harris has been injured.
Well, that time, Benito Jones, number 95, just beat his man. Oftentimes we can talk about schemes and everything that happens up front, but you got to win those one-on-one battles. And that time, Jones, number 95, just whipped up front and made the play.
Second down, 18.
Jones brothers are in there. DJ and Benito, 95 and 93, are inside.
Hurts goes deep. He's got Calvin Ridley. Wow. Ridley had to turn around in mid-stride because the ball was thrown over his outside shoulder. That is a gain of 42.
Remember when I said 80% of the team for Alabama is either a 4-star or 5-star. Calvin Ridley's a 5-star. That's what 5 stars can do. You can't teach that. You don't coach that. Somebody has the ability to do that, or they don't.
Hurts. Incomplete. Garrett Dieter couldn't hang on.
What a play. Some people just, when they turn, they just lose control of their body. And that time Ridley made the turn, and just his athletic skill makes the catch.
O.J. Howard has a couple of catches. Ridley comes to the near side. Again, Ardarius Stewart, the other wide receiver, injured.
And you know who else hasn't been out there? Robert Foster. Haven't seen him much at all in this game. 2 of the top 3 receivers are not in the game.
Nothing. A.J. Moore with the tackle. Third down and long.
Those outside linebacker / safeties in this 4-2-5 defense are now starting to crowd the line of scrimmage, and that's what he did. He crashed it and stopped the run.
Scarborough heads to the bench. Joshua Jacobs comes on. 3rd and 9 and a 4-point lead.
Hurts been keeping the ball on 3rd down. Let's see if they do it again.
Hurts back to throw. Nope. Well, Joshua Jacobs was in the area, but
Demarius Gates that time, number 3, really played the play very well on that one. He's got a running back going down the sideline, and the middle linebacker had nothing to do with it. He said, no way.
This would have been a 56 or a 57-yarder for Adam Griffin. No, I can't get him out of my mind.
Let's see if we can get a huge punt for Alabama, or if Ole Miss can get this ball and get it into good field position. What's going to happen?
It's not way up in the air.
Not a great punt.
But the fair catch.
Yeah, I think both sides will take that. That could have been a lot worse.
34-30, 1 tick under, 11 minutes remaining. We've got something happening here in Oxford. We are back in Oxford with an invitation to stay tuned for the Jeep postgame show coming up after our game. 3rd week of the college football season. And of the 3 weeks, we had an overtime game. Our group at CBS, UCLA, Texas A&M. Last week we had...
not an overtime game.
It was not overtime. No. It seemed like it
was over early. We had an over early game last week.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, what's it there for? 1st down and 10. Kelly handoff. 1 yard, maybe 2. Hakeem Judd.
Well, I know it's 21-3, right, Vern? I mean, it seems bad, but if you freeze, would you take Chad Kelly on the field with 10 minutes to go and only down 4 points?
Absolutely.
Right? You just can't, Man, great defense that time.
Sure was. Marlon Humphrey, number 26.
It's been back shoulder throw, and another one. And, you got me once. You got me on a penalty, but I'm going to fight you on this one. Perfect defense.
3rd down, 9. Ole Miss, 2 of 10 on 3rd downs. 2 wide left, 1 wide right. 4-man rush. Kelly into the flat, Evan Engram, and he tries to break the tackle. He does, but does not pick up enough for the 1st down.
Alabama stayed just in a zone defense, backed up and challenged Chad Kelly to dump the ball off. He did. They came up and made the tackle. Alabama drops back, forced the tackle, and it's short of the 1st down.
Shaheen Carter, number 5, made the tackle. Eddie Jackson, as we mentioned, an 88-yard punt return for a touchdown. That right now is the difference in this game. Jackson, one hop to the 42-yard line.
I was glad I didn't say anything, because when the number 5 made the tackle, as you said, Cyrus Jones had been there so long. I was going to say, Cyrus, what do you mean? That's Cyrus Jones, but it wasn't.
It could have been Archie Bobcats, Allie LaForce's alma mater, and Florida's at home against North Texas tonight. There's Foster being taken off. First down 10. Hurts still has it, gets a good block on the edge. Breaks a tackle. Let's see, it's a foot race, and he's going to be dragged down from behind, but he gets near the 17-yard line.
Well, that'll now make it. Alabama will have 2 players on offense that have rushed for over 100 yards in the game. One of them's a running back, the other one's a quarterback.
That block on the edge was Forrestal Miller, number 87. And here is the run. Damian Harris. Jalen Hurts, true freshman, Channelview, Texas. How about that? Tyler Watts, 15 years ago at Ole Miss.
I was going to say it might go all the way back to the wishbone days.
Here's Harris getting into the backfield. I wonder, now he gets set on the far side. Play clock at 3.
Yeah, this was a quarterback run all the way.
Yes, it was. Looks for a block on the corner. Gets around and out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
Well, you know, everybody thinks, you know, of Nick Saban as, you know, being a little bit hard-headed about the way he coaches his football team, but he has definitely adjusted. The modern rules have allowed RPOs and, you know, plays that you can run a play and have a pass play, and he has let Lane Kiffin run this offense, and it has definitely changed in the last 3 years.
Here's Hurts again. Down the sidelines, he hurdles. And
yeah, I think he went in, didn't he? Did he step out? The only possibility is if he stepped out.
Yeah. The ruling on the field is that the ball carrier was out of bounds at the 1.5-yard line. It'll be second down.
Yes, he did. Good
he did.
Call. Actually, 2.5-yard line.
Well, and one would be wrong if one wondered if he might have stepped out at the end.
Yeah, but right here at the 2.5-yard line, his right foot's out right there.
Right there. My point being that his right foot, oh, I see.
Yes, before he crossed the goal line.
Yeah. Can I have that back?
Hey, once you do the Archie Griffin thing, you're free the rest of the day.
Damian Harris is the running back. They give it to Harris, and he is in for the touchdown for the Crimson Tide of Alabama.
Well, they sure mixed up the running game, and they attacked it with the running game this whole drive. They had, 5 plays or 4 plays, and they ran every single one of them and punched it in. It was a combination of the quarterback and the power, and Ole Miss is just, I don't know if they've run out of gas on defense, because that's 71 plays by Alabama.
58 yards on that 5-play drive, under 3 minutes. Adam Griffith is on the front. Up and good.
You know, Vernon, Alabama has the big advantage in plays, and now they're starting to run it. Started out with this quarterback keeper, and it finished with the quarterback keeper down to the 1-yard line. Steps out, and then they just power it in. Same formula. They may go a little faster. They still love to run the ball for close over 300 yards. Well, one more strong shot now for this Ole Miss offense. Put a touchdown on the board and then get a stop. See what happens.
Adam Griffith. And let's go down to Allie LaForce.
Hey, Vern, Reuben Foster for Alabama will not be returning. He was carted off the field. He originally came off the field with cramping issues. They worked on him in the tent. They let him go out for one play, but he had to come back in and get worked on for another good 10 minutes before they decided to finally cart him off.
Okay, Allie, thank you. First down 10, 7.5 plus 3. Kelly, deep right side. For the moment, the man is open.
There it is.
And it is caught. Van Jefferson.
We talk about it all the time. You can have great coverage. I've been doing Alabama games for 10 years. They play pump and run like that all the time. If you throw a great ball, you're going to complete it. Beautiful.
Shaheen Carter was defending. Here's Kelly. And good contact at the point of the catch. The catch made to Morier Stringfellow. 41-30, 7:05 to go. Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss at home next week against Georgia. Team Judd with the tackle at the 21 with the carry.
Backups are in for Alabama. Joshua Frazier and Dakota Ball, number 44 and 69, are playing defensive tackle. Deshaun Hand, number 9, is in there. And I think Ryan Anderson is the other player.
Rashawn Evans also on the field.
Yeah, Evans is playing in place of Reuben Foster.
Right.
We all remember Dakota Ball played a little tight end, and now he's back on the defensive line.
First down. There is someone on a PA somewhere in the building. Each time Ole Miss gets a first down, we get first down. And it reminds me of Red Cashin, the old NFL referee, a wonderful man. Yeah, I don't know who's running that stuff. It's on the field somewhere. Akeem Judd with the carry.
Alabama smartly used the measurement to get in some fresh players.
6:20, second down and 9. Kelly will have to run. He breaks the first contact, and then he is banged down by Rashawn Evans.
A fresh pass rush that time, a little pressure on him, forced Kelly out, and then soft.
Ooh. Third down 9. Under 6 to go. At a 41-30 game.
And 11 points. Field goal means something in this game.
Kelly intercepted. Short throw picked up by Jonathan Allen. Now he's got a convoy helping him.
Turn around, Alabama. Turn around.
Yeah, he never turned around, but he does score.
His blockers never turned around to help him. They were all celebrating and seeing if they could clean up for him, but it doesn't gonna matter. It's still a touchdown.
75-yard return. I believe it was Quincy Adepojo who did not quit on this play and chased him down, almost got him from behind.
Yeah, a little bit of a delayed rush that time. The ball pops loose and ends up, I think Christian Miller is the guy that might have forced it. And look at good hustle from behind, and now one of the Alabama players looks to see if they can help him.
No, they were celebrating. And now the extra point from Adam Griffin.
Penalty flag on the play.
False start. Offense. Number 89. 5-yard penalty. We'll have the try.
Still didn't see exactly who got the hit that forced the errant forward. It was almost a fumble, half slip, interception.
Tim Williams, we believe, was the guy who got there first.
Gotcha. And it was basically a 3-man rush to start it.
Might have been Tomlinson.
Yeah, I thought it was either 54, and I know 47 was right there, Christian Miller. Let's see, Williams is the guy who sticks his arm. Yes, it is Williams. It makes the ball go forward. Williams gets it. Miller's a little late, and that's probably the ball game.
Well, sometimes you need a little oxygen. You run that hard and that far, and you get the touchdown, which is a defensive lineman's dream. And here is the kick return. That's Kiddo Moore, number 13. 31-6 in the second half. It seems light years ago that it was 24-3 Ole Miss. And we've still got 5.5 to go.
I'm not going to say it. And they ran that. Remember, Ole Miss gets the sack for the touchdown?
Yeah.
What did they have?
You mean, what was the score?
No.
Oh.
They had all the momentum. And it just went downhill since then.
Now that's all I got. That's all I got. That is really an inside story. That really, you got me on that one. Old Mo changed jerseys on that play. To quote some of my colleagues in this business.
Hey, we're all hard-headed now.
Neither of us. 48-30. 5:11 to go. Let me just clarify for some of you who don't understand that. Gary, my partner of 11 years, is not a big believer in momentum.
No, it's not a big believer. I'm not any believer.
Not at all.
I gotta say, Vert's nice because he could do it. He could say, hey, I got all the momentum, but he's very nice.
Eddie Jackson, who has an 88-yard punt return for a touchdown, is limping off.
Well, I mean, in between, Ole Miss has played Wofford, a triple option offense, but remember now, this is a familiar sight for Hugh Freeze. They led Florida State 28-6, and they lost 45-34. And now in this game, as Vern told you, it was 24-3, and it's 48-30 right now. So it has not been a good finish. Only 2 field goals, right, in the second half?
Yeah.
And their offense gave up a touchdown, and there's the differential from the first half and the second.
That's extraordinary. That was a catch by Evan Engram, 18 yards. A.J. Brown. You're the guy? First down.
First down, there you go.
That's Red Cash.
And Vern, when we do Alabama all the time, what do they get a lot of touchdowns? What do they call it? Knots? Remember?
Yeah.
They get a lot of knots.
Yeah.
They got 3 of them today. They got a punt return, not offensive touchdown. They've got a sack fumble, not offensive touchdown. And they've got an interception, not offense touchdown. 21 points from their defense.
You are really into acronyms today.
Touche.
Let's go back to New York.
All right, Vern, thanks. And Gary, Danny Etling keeping that momentum going from a week ago as he nails DJ Chark here with the touchdown pass. 7-0 Tigers on top of Mississippi State in their gridiron gold throwback unis.
All right, Adam, thank you.
That's cold, Adam, real cold. I'll tell you.
Kelly has to throw it away, and it's a jump ball, almost picked off. Ryan Anderson with the pressure on Kelly. Kelly now 22 of 36. He has thrown for 356 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Eddie Jackson strolling toward the locker room. Is he coming back? He's coming back.
Alabama was able to substitute their entire defensive line.
Kelly across the middle.
Oh, picked by the umpire.
DeMarcus Lodge uses that little unexpected help.
And watch, after the ball is completed, watch the umpire get right in the way of the tackle. Boom, watch the block. Nice.
First down 10, 3:25 to go. Down low, attaboy Joe with the grab. .310 remaining.
Got him in the slot, Engram right here.
Intended for attaboy Joe, incomplete. Rudy Jones defender.
Let's see if they can't find a way to get it to their big guy right here.
He cuts inside. That catch is made for a touchdown by DeMaurier Stringfellow, number 3.
Alabama playing off in this. Kelly sees this matchup to the outside. No press coverage. He likes it. He goes right to it. Actually a half of a push-off, but he gets away with it and no call.
Gary Wonderlick on for the extra point. That's a 12-play, 78-yard drive. First touchdown for Ole Miss in the first quarter. Wonderlick's kick is up and good. It is 48-37. There's the touchdown catch. Alabama gets the ball when we return. Vaught Hemingway Stadium on this beautiful campus of Ole Miss. Put this on your bucket list. This is one you'd love to see someday.
Here we go with an onside kick. Alabama will have their hands team in.
Yep. Among whom will be Calvin Ridley. So they've got 8 up, 2 5 yards off the official line and 1 deep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, brother.
He got it. Yes.
Ole Miss has the football.
Football game now. Football game. Ridley misjudged it. Took one more bounce. Misjudged the bounce. Watch this. He moves up on it, and then it goes right over his head. He crept up, and now all of a sudden, got to get a stop.
And Van Jefferson is the second Ole Miss player who had a chance at it, and he came up with it.
Yep, second half went right over his head. Made the mistake of moving just a little bit too fast for the ball. Should have stayed back and kept it in front of him.
Ole Miss with all 3 timeouts remaining. They are down by 11. Kelly, all kinds of time. Deep in the end zone. Touchdown, A.J. Brown.
Gonna have to go for 2 here, right?
Yes. Sure will. On the first play after the recovered onside kick. We've seen those two kids with that look. In Bowl 2013.
It was the powder blue jerseys just about 5 minutes ago that was doing that.
Yeah. Here's Attaboyjo. He'll be on the right side. DeMaurier Stringfellow is wide to the left. Hakeem Judd in the backfield. And the try for 2 to make it a 3-point game.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my heavens. Kelly. Oh, wow.
Well, first of all, they hadn't taken a snap from from underneath the center all game. So on the 2-point play, they go from under center and they blow it. Started with the onside kick. 1 bounce, 2 bounces over his head. Misjudged by Calvin Ridley, recovered by Jefferson. First play. All they're going to do is just run straight down the field and throw a jump ball. They go, my guy, A.J. Brown, is going to be your guy. And on this one, he does. And then the 2-point play must have been tricky, and too tricky because Ole Miss blows it.
And then it was almost caught, almost retrieved by Van Jefferson.
So now they're going to have to get another onside kick. And of course, as Vern just told you, they still do have 3 timeouts left.
48-43, 2:51 remaining.
I mean, they could kick this deep now with 3 timeouts. 13 points in 8 seconds.
Taylor Diggs isn't shooting, Gary.
Yeah, I think they're going to kick it deep.
Diggs is the deep man, and he is at the 12-yard line. So essentially the same formation, 8 up front, 2 10 yards back.
Well, there's a lot of space behind number 17.
Yep.
And Diggs has to cover like 53 yards if it's pooched. Oh, they just kick it out of the end zone. Hey, get a stop and you're going to get the ball back.
Chad Kelly for the day. 26 of 41 for 421 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hurts with 158 in the air and 146 on the ground.
Well, just a series and a half ago, Alabama was conceding completions to Ole Miss. And then after the onside kick, it was a little bit of panic and allowed them to the end zone for a touchdown.
Now let's see what the clock management is for Hugh Freeze and Ole Miss. It's Damian Harris. Okay. 2nd down, A.J. Moore makes the tackle. And the clock will run. All 3 timeouts remain for both teams.
2nd and 8.
Alabama will snap that ball under 5 seconds on this play clock right here. They'll take the whole 35 out of 40 seconds.
Handoff. Harris got a 1st down. Huge.
Man, how about that blocking for Alabama's offensive line? They go on balance to the right, and they produce a 1st down when they had to run the ball. Down, great cut by Harris, powering out and make a 1st down.
And timeout is called by Ole Miss. That's their first. 2 remaining. 48-43. 91 points scored today. That's the most scored by these two teams in this lengthy rivalry. 48-43.
There's 121 seconds left in the game. Ole Miss, even if they stop them twice now, okay, and they take some time off, maybe 5 seconds per play, there's going to be about 70 seconds left in the game if they get 2 stops. They only have 2 more timeouts.
Keep running. Bo Scarborough this time. And ball safety uppermost in his mind, ball security.
Going to let the clock run after this one and use his timeouts after 2nd and 3rd down.
2nd down, 6.
Did he fumble that ball on that play?
I don't think so.
I remember Bozeman ended up, there was a little bit of action at the end of that play. Let's take a peek.
5 seconds on the play clock. 3, 2. Hand it off. Damian Harris.
Have to take the timeout here, even though it's 3rd and inches. You got no choice. I think Bozeman haven't got this ball, and it was fumbled. Bo Scarborough gets hit, ball comes out. Look at that. And Bradley Bozeman, I thought maybe the ball was up. How about that? 1st down play. Coughed.
48-43, 1:08 to go.
Lamar Jackson, Bobby Petrino, and the Louisville Cardinals put the most points on a Florida State team in the history of Florida State football. 63.
I'm not a prognosticator, but I think Lamar Jackson is going to be pretty far up there on the Heisman wish list. 3rd and inches. Got it.
Well, it was almost a nightmare finish for Alabama. Maybe all of us thought the game was over after the interception. The 1st down play of this last drive, when the ball pops out free, could have been a disaster.
Yeah, thinking back, I said ball security uppermost here.
Yeah, it is out.
And you saw it, I didn't. That ball came loose.
And cleanly loose. Remember, this was after 1st down. Hugh Freeze was keeping the ball. If we could get one more look at that 1st down play, because Ole Miss could have got the ball back. Remember, 1st down, ball pops out. Usually the defense gets a play like that because they're facing it. All the linemen are blocking. But Bradley Bozeman, along with some good blocks, might have had the play of the game for Alabama.
Ole Miss uses its final timeout. 48-43. I bet that man's not going to be very happy after this.
I think he's going to be one of those that he did against Arizona State. Against Arkansas. Remember, everybody criticized his team for winning 14-13, and he goes, a win's a win. And I think he's going to look at this game and now try to build up his team afterwards. He's going to say, I'm really proud of the way we fought, and he's not going to see the little mistakes. He's going to be very positive after the game. That's my prediction.
Interesting. Well, sharp-eyed Gary saw this happen. The fumble recovery from Bozeman. Let's go down to Allie LaForce with Nick Saban.
Coach, the last time we were here, it was the Ole Miss fans rushing the field. The field belongs to Alabama, and it belongs to you today. How were you able to turn this around?
Well, it was an unbelievable game, a hell of a game. You got to give both teams a lot of credit. I mean, we were down 24-3 and came back and got ahead by 18 points, and they came back in the game and got back in it with an onside kick and a 61-yard touchdown pass. So it was a great game. Great competition. You got to put your hat off to our guys for keep competing in the game for 60 minutes. And I'm just really proud of our team.
Your team scored in every way. This guy contributed to one of them. Defense, offense, special teams. How impressive was the full effort from everyone today?
Well, we needed it, obviously, because we're 5 points better than them, and certainly didn't play our best game by any stretch of the imagination, but we made a lot of plays, and you got to really take your hat off to the way our players competed in the game for 60 minutes in the game.
Coach, congratulations. Enjoy this win.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll...
And now it's time for the Napa play of the game. It's presented by Napa Auto Parts. We waited until the end. And here, Gary, is what we've chosen as the play of the game.
Yeah, you have all those scores, all those big plays, all those touchdowns. And our play of the game is a recovered fumble by the center. And that's how big it, because I think Alabama was reeling. I think if Chad Kelly would have come out there one more time, it might have been over.
I'm really glad we don't have to do the Geico game recap right now. 48-43 the final. NCIS Los Angeles and back-to-back episodes of 48 hours. Alabama remains undefeated. Do they remain the #1 team in the country? For Gary Danielson and Allie LaForce, I'm Vern Lundquist saying so long from Oxford. The final score, Crimson Tide 48, Rebels 43. The Jeep postgame show is up next after these messages.